our YouTube went live.
Hi, Air.
Can I take it to Q? I'm going back up.
Yeah. It's like the gas pedal is hung wide open. There's nobody driving the swarm bus. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Full Velocity TV here live tonight from the Dover Downs International Speedway, Dover, Delaware. Race number 4 for the 2018 FTF Racing Verizon Cup Series. It is the start of playoff round number 2. Who's it going to be? It's going to end up in victory lane here. The TaylorMade Golf 200 here tonight. 200 laps around the Monster Mile here. You're live flag to flag on Full Velocity TV. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show here tonight, live on YouTube, on Facebook Live, and also on Twitch TV. My name is Phil LaCasse, along with my broadcast partner, Mr. Too Tall Todd Stanton, as always at the controls for us here for FVTV. And Todd, what more can we say? Race number 4 of the FTF Series playoffs. The round of 12 starts tonight, and you look to the top of the leaderboard. Guys that won races in the previous stage there. Taylor Morgan's our current pole sitter tonight, defending series champion. He won 2 times there in the opening round of the 3-stage playoff. He's going to start this evening from the pole. He's going to be one of those guys on the short list of guys you can expect to be really good here at Dover, as somebody's going to win to advance to that round of 8 in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, definitely somebody's got to win here tonight to advance to that round of 8, and that's going to punch their ticket into that round of 8, Phil, and they're not going to have to worry as much. They can gamble in the next 2 races and try to win as much as maybe Taylor Morgan's did. He won the back-to-back races there before they went to the Roval here on Full Velocity TV. And Taylor Morgan's going to be a guy on a mission here this evening. He's looking for a championship number 2, trying to do back-to-back championships at FTF.
He absolutely is, and we're going to have 200 laps here, 3 stages, 50 laps, and 100 laps is going to close it here tonight. It's going to be an awesome night of racing here live. Thank you guys have all tuned in here this evening. Going to be an awesome show. But before we get this thing started, we have to throw this thing trackside for the playing of our national anthem. All right, back here at the Dover Downs International Speedway for race number 4 of the 2018 Verizon Cup Series playoffs. Great, you guys have all joined in here tonight. We're using, we're multi-streaming here tonight. We're also on YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch TV. Twitch TV, all new to us here for a platform on Full Velocity TV. A lot of great programming left to come. Will be a Twitch exclusive. You go to Twitch TV, /Full Velocity TV. Follow our page there. You'll be notified every time we go live on the airwaves. But we're about to put this event, the TaylorMade Golf 200, under the green flag. So we're going to dive into the starting lineup. On the pole tonight will be car number 36, the point leader, defending series champion Taylor Morgan's. Alongside of him in that very fast number 26, we welcome back tonight Kevin McAdams. Row number 2, a pair of championship contenders roll off next. The 44 car to the inside, that's Brian Mercurio. Alongside in the 30, that is Corey Carpenter. Tyler Head's going to bring the 64 out for position number 5 here tonight. Joey Bailey in the 79 this evening. He's going to roll off on the outside of row number 3. Pair of championship contenders in the 4th row. It's going to be Kyle Riley's number 43 to the inside. Alongside of him is going to be Chris Wetz in the 71. Brandon Lawson and Cosman will roll off outside of row number 5. Let's go trackside for the command.
Drivers, start your engines.
So we have got through the top 10 of our starting lineup. Starting off in the 11th position here tonight will be the driver of the 166. That is Blake McCandless. And alongside of him in the 53, a championship contender there. The 53 is Justin Malello. Next row in line, the 7th row on the inside. The number 19 is Zach Buchanan, and parked next door to him in the 47, that is Phil Parker. Jordan Buster is going to bring car number 8 out from position number 15 this evening, and parked along next door is going to be the 37 car of Ryan Naraki. Chris Emery is going to roll off in the 222 here tonight from position number 17. Michael Frisch going to be in the 41 car this evening. Zachary Stoltz in the 00, and Jake Poulin in the 01. We have 20 drivers here going to take the green flag. 200 laps scheduled. Got to thank TaylorMade Golf for coming on this evening and sponsoring this awesome main event here. I'm a golf fan myself, so cool to have a golf sponsor coming out here to the NASCAR world, to the online racing world, and we can display them right here live on Full Velocity TV here tonight. But, Todd, we're about to put this sucker under the green flag for 200 miles. What do you say we get this thing started?
Yeah, definitely getting ready to get this thing started, getting ready to get to that restart zone. Green flag is in the air. Loud pedal is down the front straightaway once again here for FTF. The round of 12 is beginning here at Dover International Speedway. And right now, Taylor Morgan's on the bottom side. The 26, Kevin McAdams up top there. He settles back into line into the second spot. So McAdams and Taylor right now trying to separate themselves from the number 30, Corey Carpenter. Carpenter running in that third spot.
Yeah, Carpenter has slipped into the third spot, about 3 car lengths to himself, and the runner-up, Kevin McAdams. Taylor Morgan's is up front. Look at that battle there. 4th spot, we see the 44 car, Brian Mercurio. Last time we saw him out on Full Velocity TV, that 44 was hooked up. Joey Bailey, he's brought the 79, that Valvoline machine, into the 5th spot, and he is all over the 44 as they exit turn 4.
And you guys starting to heat up here, seeing some of these guys bounce off the wall here live on your screen. I've been watching McAdams here as we're going through the field. We're watching Corey Carpenter as we speak right now. We got Brian Mercurio in the 4th spot there in that number 44 machine. The number 79, the Joey Bailey, running in that 5th spot, trying to work over the 44 machine. These guys are pretty tight together. Nice battle going on for that 3rd spot here, as these guys are single file, but they're all over each other.
Yeah, they are, and everybody not getting away here. In Dover, typically a track, usually about a lane and a half. Not always you see a second line kind of form, but you may see that here tonight. The guys at FTF, they do some different things as far as their EXE package goes, their track packages, and you may also see double wide racing here at Dover. But that race for that 4th spot starting to really start to pick up as they head down toward the entrance of turn number 1. Mercurio's 44 glued to the inside of the racetrack, but Joey Bailey's been pestering. He is right on the back bumper, almost going to peek on the inside. A drag race down the back stretch toward turn 3 for that 4th spot.
A nice little battle going on here through the middle portions of the field here, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Watching the other guys battle throughout the field here. Basically down on the bottom side here, Phil, is a lot of these drivers down on the bottom here. 50 laps the first segment is going to be, so we're going to have to see what's going to pull off. There's going to be some field mileage strategies, I do believe, here at 50 laps. Some of these guys probably going to run their tank right almost bone dry to try to pick up some of those stage points here this evening.
Yeah, and they're going to be critical here tonight as we, move into now the round of 12, a 3-race, eliminator kind of round here before we get to that final group of 8. We trim that, playoff field from 16 all the way down to 8 here in a couple of weeks. But through these opening 7 laps so far, is still Taylor Morgan's out front. He is pacing his field about 2 car lengths over the 26 of Kevin McAdams, another 4 car lengths back to that 30 car of Corey Carpenter. Car length behind him, the 44 of Mercurio was second. It's Joey Bailey, 79. He's fallen about 2 car lengths back now. Meanwhile, outside the top 5, you find Tyler Head, 64, currently 6th. Kyle Riley has made his way to the 7th spot. Brandon Lawson is 8th. 9th is Blake McCandless. He's starting to drive on through. And Cosman's number 24, currently in the 10th spot. But keep an eye on that 199 there, Todd. Dover is a racetrack that always a place that can chew up those tires. Tire temps come into a factor here. And who better to watch that than Mr. F4? Blake McCandless now running 9th. And he is all over the back bumper of that 9 of Brandon Lawson as they head down the back stretch into turn 3.
Yeah, definitely a good battle going on between Blake McCandless and the number 9 of Brandon Lawson. Lawson right now drifts up the track just a tad bit, where McCandless can hold the bottom just a little bit longer now. Nice dive bomb move down here into turn number 1. I'm going to say a nice move down to the bottom. Not quite a dive bomb. A dive bomb would include contact, and Blake McCandless right now racing Lawson rather clean coming down the back straightaway here. These guys are side by side through turn number 3. McCandless now washes up the track as he drives it in pretty deep there over Lawson in that number 9 machine to give McCandless that spot over Lawson.
Absolutely, 66 now up to the A spot. But we talked about it. You talked about it here. You touched on a good point here, Todd. And I think we're going to watch this through the whole stage of stage number 1, which is 50 laps. We're currently now working lap number 11. So this race has just barely got underway. But these guys saying they are just on the cusp here tonight of making that entire 50-lap stage run here. Now, what do you think is going to be more important for these guys tonight? Playoff points out there for those guys that are racing for it, or, maybe backing it up and try to, stretch that or try to kind of short pit a little early, maybe risk a green flag run and maybe gain yourself some track position, because a place like Dover, the guys who typically short pit, the tire wear is so big here that you could almost gain, almost a good full second over the field as over a long run, these tires may fall off 2 to 2.5 seconds.
Definitely over a long run, it's going to matter here. The tires are definitely going to matter. Fuel is going to become an issue. Like you said, they're going to run almost bone dry probably to try to pick up that stage win or some stage points. But you want to play a safe kind of, you want to pick up as many points as you can, especially if you're towards the back half of these, trying to get into the round of 8. If you're in the back half of the round of 12 as of right now, you want to secure as many points as you can and try to pick up that, pick up those points or pick up a win for that matter. So if you have that chance, you kind of feel, I don't think you want to roll the dice here early and try to run out of gas. You don't want to put yourself behind that 8 ball that quick.
No, you certainly don't. 200 miles here is a long race at Dover. It's, 200 miles is concrete racetrack, high banks, high speeds. Usually, patents to chew up race cars. You don't want to chew up your stuff too early. But, Todd, we've seen a chew up there in that battle for the 3rd spot. Mercurio's number 44. He has slipped underneath the 30 of Corey Carpenter. Put Merc there, that macaroni salad team machine. He is up to 3rd. He is on the prowl. He'll see if he can't chase down McAdams and Taylor Morgans, who put a full second between them over that 3rd-place battle.
Yeah, Brian Mercurio having a good run there in that 44 machine, setting sail now to try to catch the 26 of Kevin McAdams and the number 36 of Taylor Morgans. Right now, Morgans and McAdams almost about half a second between those two drivers. These guys able to run out front. They're able to conserve their tires probably a little bit more, Phil, too. When they get out to a good lead like that, they're able to roll out of the tires and not get the heat built up in those tires so much where they're going to wear out as quickly. And that's what some of those guys I almost guarantee are doing. They're minding their F4 screens and they're watching their screens to try to save those tires on those machines and maybe make a run at some of these playoff points. You gotta make a run. You gotta get some of those.
You absolutely do. And just kind of updating the guys who may be coming and going. Well, the 64 of Tyler Head, he has dropped to the back part of the top 10. He's currently 9th. One of the comers, Todd, from deep in the field, about the 18th position, was the number 41 car of Michael Frisch. We saw him have a terrific run last week at the Roval. He's now up into the top 10, currently running 10th, and he's starting to chew down the interval between himself and the 64 of Tyler Head. It may be a couple of laps here. We may see a battle for a nice spot. So, a topic of comers and going over the early 20 laps here at Dover.
Yeah, you're definitely going to see the cream rise to the top here. And who can save the tires the best here as you're watching some of these guys come through the field, and they're storming through the field. But again, like I said, tire wear is going to probably be an issue, Phil. I know we're going to be able to have in-car communications tonight with some of these drivers here while they're actually driving around the track. That's going to be rather interesting for us to do on Full Velocity TV. It's going to be a first. Normally, we are not able to speak to drivers while they're actually driving, especially at a track like Dover. But we're actually going to be able to have some in-car communications to some of these drivers.
Yeah, I know we've got clearance a couple of these guys over the next couple of weeks. We'll see if we can't maybe stretch out even further. Usually don't like to talk to these guys under green flag because so much is going on. You got to communicate with your team. You got to listen to the admin traffic going on out there, and you got to concentrate on your race. So I think the last thing some of these guys want to do is get up here on the microphone and start, chewing the fat with us and see what's going on. But they've said just that there tonight. A couple of these guys really chomping at the bit to come up here on the airwaves and talk mid-race. But Todd, we talked about comers and goers in the top 10. How about now up into the ranks of the top 5? Blake McCandless, he has run down Kyle Riley. That 166 car is running down these guys up in the front 4. Blake McCandless, he up to the 5th spot. He is on the prowl here at Dover this evening.
Yeah, definitely Blake McCandless, one of the faster cars on the track. I believe last time by Blake McCandless was indeed the fastest car on the track, besides maybe the guy right there directly in front of him, the number 30, Corey Carpenter. Carpenter was just a tad faster, but not by much. So Carpenter and the 166 of Blake McCandless setting some pretty quick times here at Dover. As the tires start wearing, you're seeing these guys drive right around now, trying to go around the number 79. That's Joey Bailey. As McCandless down on the bottom side, up on the top shelf of the speedway, the number 79 of Joey Bailey. They're side by side, coming off of turn number 4, down across the stripe. It's going to be Joey Bailey so far here over that 166, but that's also allowed the number 43 of Kyle O'Reilly to get into the fray. He's caught right up to the rear bumper.
Yeah, he really has, and for a reason, Joey Bailey's car just completely went off my screen. Didn't see Blake around that car, but there they are side by side now through turns number 3 and 4. That Valvoline machine up high, this 166 car down to the low side, a drag race to the start-finish line. They'll hit turn number 1. You got to think the low side is going to prevail when you enter the corner side by side. It's just going to do just that. The 79 of Bailey going to have to surrender now. Officially put Blake McCandless up to 5th. Bailey going to push the back bumper. He's going to make contact with him. He's going to shove Blake into turn 1. That's great driving.
Definitely good driving there for the 166 machines. We're down through turn 1 right now, and off of turn number 2, it's the 166 of Blake McCandless leading Kyle O'Reilly here. McCandless leading the charge to try to run down to number 30, who's the next driver right directly in front of him. That's Corey Carpenter. Going to see if he's going to be able to get to him here rather quickly, or if not, just hold about the same gap between himself and the 30. Been seeing a lot of these cars come down the pit road early here, and often being the number 47 being driven by Phil Parker, normally driven by Sonny Tallman, but Philip Parker in that number 47 machine. He's been on track. He's been on the pit road more often than he probably would like to be right now. 14 laps down, Phil, and I believe Zach Saltz in the number 00 also down on pit road this early on.
Yeah, I did see the 00 come down as well, and looked like there was some damage there on the right side. So that car definitely been up on the wall. Zachary's has come down on pit road. He has made his 4-tire repair, 35 miles per hour the pit speed. So Zachary Stoltz, he was running near the back of the pack. Now he's going to be multiple laps down. Had to repair some damage, maybe cut a right front tire. Zachary Stoltz going to rejoin this field into turn number 1 and 2. But that pit road is long here, Todd, and when you start crawling down to 35 miles per hour, that feels like an eternity down there as you just continue to feel these laps click away.
As the laps continue to click away here, and like we said, we're on lap 29 of 200, so we're a little over halfway through stage number 1. Just watching these guys battle it out here. It's Corey Carpenter starting to get a wee bit loose, and that number 30 machine leaves the door wide open for Blake McCandless. McCandless down to the bottom side here. They're side by side through the corner here and getting ready to come down the back straightaway. It's going to be McCandless now moving himself up into that 4th spot. The 166 machine, the Kyle O'Reilly tries to follow suit. Cannot do that because the 30 of Corey Carpenter slammed that door shut on Riley here. So number 30 machine still right there hanging with the 166 of McCandless, but McCandless is a man on the mission. Now he sets sail for the top 3.
Yeah, he really does. He's put Corey Carpenter down to the 5th spot. Blake McCandless on the move here. Moved the 30 back to the 5th spot, but the problem for Blake is, maybe the fastest car on the racetrack 30 laps into a run. Well, he's 4.6 seconds behind our current race leader, Taylor Morgans, who distances himself 1.3 seconds ahead of Kevin McAdams. Brian Mercurio, he's over 2 seconds behind, and then you find Blake McCandless 4.6 last time around. So that's a lot of time to make up here in 32-plus laps, Todd. I think you could almost see it out there. Qualifying times a little while ago, Taylor Morgan set our quick time here tonight with a 21.768. But I bet by all the widgets and all the fun you got down there, you could probably show these guys are probably a full second and a half slower than they were in time trials.
Yeah, definitely a lot slower than they were in time trials. Right now running 23 1s, 23 3s, right in that ballpark of a range. So they're up in the 23-second bracket, almost the middle 23-second bracket. So, Phil, these guys putting on a show, but you're watching them fall off rather quickly here. We're on lap 33 of 200, and you're just watching some of these guys like Lawson, Corey Carpenter, Kyle Riley. These guys are battling tooth and nail. McCandless, we've seen him just with this group not too long ago, and he's already gone in that number 166 machine.
Yeah, he really has, and he kind of pulled Kyle Riley through the straight with him. It's been guys like Carpenter that have kind of started to fall back. Joey Bailey, 79, has as well. But you see Riley coming. You see Brandon Lawson starting to pick up some speed in that number 9 car. So, yeah, you got a good gaggle of race cars there from 5th position on back. It's probably about, a whole, couple of car lengths between them. A good 4-car race. Kyle Riley leads that pack, but Carpenter's 6th. The battle is for 7th between Lawson and Joey Bailey, and that's heavily contested. Bailey to the inside through 3 and 4.
Yeah, a little bit of contact made. Bumper tag between the number 41 of Michael Frisch and the number 79 machine there of Bailey. Bailey was all over the rear bumper, just playing a little bit of bumper tag there as 41 now to the high side. Michael Frisch starting to make his way up through, and it's been an interesting battle between these three guys as the number 9 of Brandon Lawson able to get around both of them, but the 41 making a power move on the outside. He's getting around Joey Bailey here down the front straightaway.
Yeah, keep an eye on that 41. He impressed me last week at the Roval. He was really, really fast. But, yeah, we'll keep an eye on the Michael Frisch machine. Just looking down toward pit road, Todd, I've seen a couple of cars down there. Zach Buchanan has been in. One of our Championship 12 contenders, Justin Malello, he has been in for early service. I'll have to see what the story is of him. We'll let him sort out through pit road, and maybe we can't pick the brain of the owner of FTF and see what brought him to pit road so soon. But, yeah, Todd, we've got 16 drivers up in a lead lap. 18 to the racetrack. Phil Parker's behind the wall. Zachary Schultz is 00. He's also pulled it behind the wall, too. So through the first almost 40 laps this event, 20 started, 18 left of the racetrack, 16 on the lead lap. The question is who is going to stretch it all the way through the end of stage number 1 in 10 laps, and who is going to be able to stop short? Who can't save it? Who can save it? Who's got tires? Who don't? A lot to play out here in the next couple of laps here, Todd.
Yeah, definitely a lot to play. These guys stretching the limits of their race cars, the tires, the fuel, everything they got going on there. They're throwing everything they got at it. So just to try to get this stage win or maybe even some stage points. But like I said, some of these guys in the back half of the point standings here in this round of 12 are trying to play a little conservative there, trying to pick up as many points as they can. But they also don't want to run out of fuel. That'll put them a lap or two behind here early on in the going. And it's so hard to come back here at a league like FTF from those many laps down. I mean, even if you go one lap down, it's really hard to get back if you have no yellow flags at all.
No, we'll ask Justin Malello about this because I just saw Justin come onto pit road. Justin, you came in on lap 37. You took 4 tires. The tire wear's so big at Dover that you can really get a good run, I think, as you're doing as we speak, starting to chew some of these guys out. But what was the strategy for coming in early versus these guys who may be going out there stretching for stage points at lap 50?
Well, I was looking at it, and my fuel, I could have made it on fuel, but tires were just big premium at that time. So I figured come in lap 35, probably come in again at lap like 70, and we'll split it up that way. Maybe have a chance at the stage points in both stages.
So that's going to be the way to work stage 1 and number 2. What's going to be your strategy for stage 3? Is it going to be more or less same around that 35 laps? Are you going to change that up? It's a little bit extra distance when you get to that second or third stage. What do you think you're going to do?
We're probably going to have to change it up. I figure if we make it to stage 2, right after that, we'll see what we're going to have to do after that, because everybody's strategy is going to be different. I know I got some of my teammates are staying out, trying to get the one-stop strategy in for the first 2 stages, and others like myself are coming in twice. So it's going to be a mixed pot. I think the guys that are able to stay out are probably better off right now, but we'll see if their tires are going to last.
Yeah, I think when you see that 50-lap marker come and we move towards stage 2, this thing is going to turn upside down. Well, Justin, very cool of you to come in during green flag conditions, something I normally wouldn't even think of doing, especially at a top-notch league like yourself at FTF. But you guys doing a great job. This race is already almost 50 laps in through stage 1. You guys doing great, but I'm going to let you get back to it because I think you guys probably need to start communicating because what I'm understanding is there's guys starting to lose right front tires, so I'll let you back up there and let you run this show. But thanks for a couple of words, dude. We'll definitely do this later on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I just went by the 79 with a flat right front, so we'll see how it all plays out.
And I think you did too. So we'll let Justin Malello go back up there into the team channel, the Speed Inc. room, and let him, be the head administrator for the show there, Todd. But really cool of Justin to come in under green. You got your hands full here at Dover. I can't imagine coming up here and dissecting, breaking down the race. But Justin's a pro. He just did it just like that. And we'll have to see. He said a mixed pot, what we're going to see here. And I think it's just going to be that. But who can make it, who's not? I've seen a couple of cars come toward pit road. We saw Joey Bailey with a flat right front. Cosman's been down. Corey Carpenter has been down. So these are guys that were up running in the top 5 earlier in the back part of the top 10. Well, their tires couldn't make this full 50-lap distance. What do you think about guys up front like Taylor and like Kevin who have really kind of run it hard?
You got to remember, those guys that are running it hard up there, they're trying to get those stage points, some precious stage points. We're on lap 48 of 200, Phil. But just going to put it in perspective out there for everybody out there on YouTube, Twitch, and even Facebook. Just to put it in perspective, Kevin McAdams, last lap, 23.956. Blake McCandless was 24.050. Here's a guy that put on tires, Jake Poulin, 22.387 in that 01 machine. So look at the difference in the gap.
Yeah, you can see that. It's a humongous gap here at Dover. Race leader Taylor Morgan just pitted onto pit road before the conclusion of stage number 1. That Reese's fast brake machine down to pit road. 4 tires going on that one. 4 tires for that Chevy Camaro. He is down and away. Also believe Kevin McAdams may have come to pit road, Todd. He's going to surrender the lead.
Yeah, Kevin McAdams down on pit road. We don't have him in line. We're trying to figure out if we can get a little sight of Blake McCandless out there. And I'm sure he's battling the car quite a bit unless he has indeed come down pit road. And I believe he has come down on the pit road too, Phil. So Michael Frisch, the only guy left out there, and I believe he's going to end up winning the stage.
I don't think Blake has yet come down as he's just kind of really crawling it out there right now. So just by the way that car is kind of on and off the throttle, I don't think he has. But off of turn number 4, stage checkered flag in hand, and I think you're right. I think Michael Frisch may have just picked up the win in stage number 1 over Blake McCandless, Tyler Head, Brandon Lawson, and Kyle Riley, your unofficial top 5. We'll have to let this all sort out, but I think what we can definitely say there, Todd, you're going to see those guys who just stayed out come onto pit road, and race leader Michael Frisch, he has brought that Snap-on Tools machine, 41 car, that Ford, he is on pit road, as is Blake McCandless of the 166.
Yeah, 35 miles an hour is pit road speed here this evening. Dover, it's a real slow pace here for these guys, almost like an eternity, but Michael Frisch down into pit road. The number 41 machine, right side tires going on that machine. Waiting for them to finish up. They drop the jack, go around to the left side, jack that left side up. Here with the 41, 4 tires to the call. Man, there was no other way. You got to go with 4 tires after that long green flag run. He's down and away.
Yeah. 4 tires for Tyler Head, and that's David Sunflower Seeds, number 64. 4 tires is on. You saw 4 tires for Michael Frisch, 4 tires for Kyle Riley, also 4 for McCandless. So all those guys down and away. We're well now into stage number 2. So you got to think, Todd, the guys that came in early are probably going to recycle back up to the top of the heap. The thing is now, you've already seen these guys have set the standard, the Michael Frisches, the McCandless, the Tyler Heads, and so on and so forth. They can make that 50-lap distance to eclipse the halfway mark, which would be the checkered flag in stage number 2. Those guys who pitted early, you heard Justin Malello say, well, we're going to split this up to about 35 into 70, so we're going to definitely see 2 completely different complexions of the race. You got to think these guys got to be meeting in the middle somewhere around lap 150 if this thing is to stay green. We got a lot to work out here through the course of this evening. This is going to be a lot of fun. 54 laps in.
Yeah, Dover, one of my favorite tracks to watch these guys go battling at here, watching what the tire runs are going to do to these cars. Even in NASCAR, we were watching NASCAR and watching those guys grind it out with their tires and fuel strategies and different things that go on throughout NASCAR. You watch them guys try to get through here at Dover, and it's one of my favorite tracks that I've gone to watch here personally. So just watching some of these drivers around. Taylor Morgan's right now your current race leader. He's got almost 2 seconds over Brian Mercurio in that 44 machine. We're going to take a look. Justin Malello is right now 8th. So I was looking at the 53 machine because he was one of the first guys to come down on the pit road, Phil. And he is running 8th right now, 23.188 to Taylor Morgan's 22.394. So he rolled the dice. He's inside the top 10. He might be able to get some nice stage points.
Yeah, he certainly could, but there's got a lot of laps left to go here before they dole out that second stage. 56 laps in. We still got 44 laps to go in stage number 2. So these guys may be doing some backwards thinking now. You saw those guys stay out late, but it's the story now. The guys who came in early, the Taylor Morgans of the world. Brian Mercurio was in early. McAdams, I was kind of puzzled, came in when he did. He came in, I think, lap 48, 49. So he wasn't able to stretch all the way out to 50. So we'll have to see how this plays out here in the next little while, but you see a couple of cars battling out on the racetrack, some close battles going on between Justin Malello's 53. You see Jake Poulin's number 01 a little bit up ahead. Michael Frisch of the 41. Those guys, you know, we saw Justin come in early. We saw the 41 come in late, and you can see on the screen there, Todd, how much those newer tires just really work. Malello was trying to hold off that 41, but there was no challenge. Michael Frisch just went on by like he was just kind of standing still.
Yeah, definitely. Like he was standing still, just watching the different strategies out there, Phil. It's going to be different. I have all the widgets in front of me, watching last lap times and what their actual speeds are. I can see their speeds and everything that's been going on with some of these drivers, and just watching them fall off the pace. And some of these other drivers are at 22 twos, 22 threes. These guys are wicked fast here on newer tires. Like Taylor Morgan's 22.5 last time by. Brian Mercurio was 22.5 also. But Kevin McAdams starting to tear it up just a little bit in that 26 machine, 22.4. So he's a tick faster than first and second place. We're going to have to see if McAdams can make something happen. He's 5.5 seconds back. So he must have had a little bit of an issue down on pit road, I almost can imagine, because he was right grouped together with these guys.
Yeah, he really is. And Kevin McAdams is one of those guys coming in championship eligible. Of course, Kevin currently running third. The point leader, Taylor Morgans, comes in tonight with a pretty good lead, 13 points over, Kevin McAdams. That's your top two. Corey Carpenter comes in tonight third in the standings. A little gap between himself and McAdams, another 15 points between them. Brian Mercurio currently fourth in the standings, 3 points separate himself and Corey Carpenter. Cosman comes in tonight fifth in the points, followed by Malello, currently sixth, Kyle Riley seventh, Brandon Lawson eighth, Tyler Head ninth, Jordan Buster 10th, Chris Wetz and Ryan Naraki. Those make up your 12 championship eligible drivers, but just kind of updating where they're all running. You see Taylor Morgan's leading, Kevin McAdams is third. You look at Brian Mercurio, he's now up in the second spot. Corey Carpenter running fourth. Cosman is up at the top 10. He is running fifth. So we rattle off a top five of the points there, Todd. You always say the cream rises to a top in positions 1 through 5 of the points. Well, that's exactly how they sit. Not in the same order, but right in that periphery of things on the racetrack. It just goes to show the best drivers will always come to the top half of the field. It does not matter what stage of the race are, what strategy you're on. They always seem to migrate themselves up back to the front.
Yeah, usually it doesn't take them long. The best drivers do come towards the front of the field, Phil. And you're just watching, I'm going to say short runs. You'll see some of the other drivers be able to do something. But as soon as you start seeing pit stops and you start seeing different strategies with tires, different thing, you're definitely going to see the guys that really know the track, really know the way that the car is going to handle here. And they're not newcomers to FTF at all. So they've pretty much a seasoned veteran, you could call them, in their own right here. And just watching like Taylor Morgan, he wants to punch his ticket, so he has no worries here going into that round of 8. Then he can just do whatever he needs to do, just like he did early in the round of 16 here to get to the round of 12. Taylor Morgan's one of those types of drivers that just, kind of wants to go out there, win the race, and then maybe he'll win a couple more races after that, or even a race he can roll his strategy and not have to worry and put a lot of pressure on that 36 machine.
Oh, absolutely right. I think that's Taylor's strategy here tonight. But I want to know what happened there to a 26 on pit road. We'll bring Kevin McAdams into the conversation, currently running out there in third. He's cut it down from what was over 6 seconds, now under 5, 4.9 last time around. First of all, Kevin, I got to ask, what the heck happened down there on pit road? You were right in the tire tracks of Taylor for basically that whole run. Now he's got about 5 seconds on you. What the heck happened down there?
2 laps later on the pits there, Phil. We're on a little bit different pit window compared to him. I'm trying to stretch it this time around for the end of stage 2, maybe get a playoff point here. But tire wear is incredibly severe as far as like fall off. So you lose about 2.5 seconds by just staying out a couple laps. And this pit entry is really treacherous. So I just wanted to be a little careful. I'm pulling him back in. But at this point, the next step is getting a playoff point, maybe getting some stage points, continue to increase the gap on the field for Talladega and then into Kansas.
Now, knowing full well, and you're a veteran of the sim, you've won championships before, won dozens or hundreds of races over the years. You know a place like a Dover, notorious to chew up your tires. How tempting is it out there, knowing you have those new rubber on underneath you, to go out there and drive that car as hard as you can? Or how disciplined do you have to be to hold that thing underneath you, knowing you want to stretch that thing a better about 52 laps to make this entire second stage?
Well, it's the old analogy, the eggshell underneath the throttle. You have to really be careful, especially exiting. The last run, I really got my right rear a little hot, a little too much wear, and that's why Taylor really pulled away. I'm trying to have a little bit of a different entry as far as not braking as much, letting it coast in, and maybe wearing out the right front more than my right rear, and hopefully keep it more balanced later on in the run. But we got about 30 more laps to go before my next pit stop. I'm just trying to see where I stack up as far as the interval to Taylor and see where I have to go from here.
Yeah, absolutely. Just kind of feeling it out there. Kevin doing an awesome job. Currently running third. Good luck to us tonight, but I'm not sure what else you can do out there. I don't know if it's down to tires, keeping an eye on what the leader is doing, but, a guy like Taylor out front, the defending champion, one of the most talented drivers I think this community has ever seen. what can you possibly do to keep that car in check? You're keeping an eye on the interval, knowing you still got 120 something laps of racing left to go. I mean, how much is that interval still big in you're kind of in your foresight, or is it just more your race car and making sure you got enough to get there?
Well, right now I have it focused on Brian in the 44. He's what I have to deal with next. He's pretty far out there as far as Taylor goes, so he's always in a class of his own unless Isaac or Colin Keister are here. So I typically try to run my own race. At this point, his long run speed is hands down the best I've ever seen, and I've run this game for I think 12 years at this point. So at this point, I'm just gonna get some points, let him make a mistake. He's probably had about 10 or 11 wins in the bag overall this year, and he's only closed about 2/3 of those. So 33% of the time he will make a mistake. So I just got to wait for that. I want to say, you guys had Justin up here earlier. Watch his strategy. He's pitting an extra time. He just pit his second time, and we're only 70 laps in. So I'm curious to see where he stands out here after the next couple cycles.
Yeah, I am too, because I'm thinking if you guys staying at that 50-lap strategy, you guys are probably going to meet in the middle around lap 150. So, yeah, that's going to be curious to watch. But, Kevin, you guys are the best, man, allowing us to bring you up here during the green flag, something I would normally think is unheard of in these kind of conditions. But you're a great sport, buddy. You are a champion, one of the best out there. Thanks again for a couple of words, and doing great, partner. Almost halfway up there, P3. Keep that thing clean, bud.
All right, Phil. See y'all after the race.
All right, we certainly will. Kevin McAdams, these guys tonight there, Todd. Something I don't think we have done much before under green flag condition. I know we like to talk to guys under yellow if we can, but, those two guys volunteering to come up under green, giving us a whole different perspective, kind of breaks up the back and forth we can do in the middle of a green flag run. Really cool these guys to do. Just FTF once again showing not only are they cutting edge, they go against the grain. They do a hell of a job. But now look at that, that mush out there that McAdams is in. Nick Baker's car, not Nick Baker, I saw Joey Bailey in Nick Baker's car tonight, sliding up the racetrack there. So you're starting to see the different strategy. You saw guys like Malello come on back on pit road. Zach Buchanan, I think I saw Chris Emery there. Ryan Araki, I think, on that same kind of play. So you've seen those guys putting that 35-35 strategy. They've already come to pit road. The guys like McAdams and Taylor and Brian, Corey, all those guys in the top five, they got an eye to run another 20 laps. So what is it like to work traffic here when you've got tires, or your tires are better than everybody else, or on the other end when your tires are worse off than everybody else, and you almost got to kind of look in the rearview mirror and engage with those faster cars are behind you?
Yeah, being on those new tires is hard to navigate through the field there, Phil. Watching like maybe Justin Malello right now, you're, oh man, 3 wide through the corner here. Just look at those tires stick compared to the other ones. Malello splits them up the middle. Woo! Wentz gets a little loose. Watts gets a little loose in that number 71 machine. Chris Wentz, he's having a good run, but man, he got tail happy in that 71. But just look at the 53, how fast, much faster he is than the rest of the drivers out there on the speedway there, Phil. Yeah, I'd rather be on the new tires, but it's really hard to navigate. I'm going to tell you, you don't want to choke them up. You don't want to hurt or blister your new tires that you just put on, trying to get around some of these guys that are quite a bit slower, sometimes almost a second slower than you out there on the speedway. And like Kevin McAdams said, the tires are wearing rather quickly here at Dover, and you can see it.
You can absolutely see it. We look toward pit road there. Todd Cosman has brought the number 24 in. Cosman is running up for the 5th spot, but he is elected to come in on lap number 82. So we'll see it. The head-up Splash-and-Go graphics can do for us. He's got right side tire work down. He's going to slide over to the left side. It's a 4-tire pit stop for that number 24 Chevrolet. Can't even read numbers here tonight, but Cosman's going to rejoin the race. He pitted out of the 5th spot. Going to be in a little bit, newer tires than those guys like Justin and, Zach that have just pitted, but we'll have to see where he shapes out, because he's going to have about, 10 lap, older, about 30 lap older tires that are fresher tires than the guys out front. So we'll have to see where Cosman Interval stacks up to, say, guys like Corey and like Michael, guys who is racing up there inside the top 5 for position.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna keep an eye on the 53 and his strategy. Justin Malello. We're gonna keep an eye out. Last time, just remember 8th position after everything played out. That's where Justin Malello was. So let's see where he's going to be this go around, Phil, as we're closing in here on stage number 2. Here we're on lap 85 of 200. So stage 2 checkered ends at 100, so that'll be halfway home officially here at Dover. See where the 53 plays out here, trying to chalk up some extra points here for that 53 machine. So Malala, we'll keep an eye on his strategy. We'll keep an eye on all the rest of these guys as best as we can here throughout the night, just to see what these guys are doing here. So far, we're clean and green, all 85 laps under green flag racing.
Absolutely, Todd. Let me direct you back to around the battle with the number 8 of Jordan Buster, the 79 of Joey Bailey. These guys were side by side for about 3 laps. You can see these guys both on old tires sliding all around over the racetrack. I'm not sure you caught that in a live stream, but they were side by side for 2 or 3 laps. Currently running 1 lap down. Those guys are trying to stretch it out almost to that lap 100. Good racing going on throughout the field, off the lead lap, but they're racing for a top 10 position. Not how much now they're racing now as they've kind of sorted it out, but now you see the 71 car of Chris Wetz on newer tires. Chris currently running 3 laps down in the 18th position. That just gives that kind of view. Those guys were side by side. They worked that out, and here comes guys like Chris Wetz storming by. Look how much he's able to drive off of turn number 2 down turn number 4 now into turn 1. Picked up almost an entire straightaway. He does that. Now here comes Joey Bailey. Those guys get back at it again, racing for that 10th spot off of turn 2.
Yeah, definitely good racing going on for that 10th spot to 79. Joey Bailey down to the bottom, almost sliding. And he's going to definitely slide up in front of the 8 of Jordan Buster. And man, what a race going on between those two drivers here. Yeah, they're indeed down 1 lap there, Phil, but nice battle for that 10th spot for these guys.
It absolutely is there, Todd. I was kind of watching stuff going on in the top 5. Corey Carpenter's handle has gone away on the 30. You can see that. The 41 car of Michael Frisch, well, he was the last of our drivers to come onto pit road, so he's going to have maybe the freshest of that group that was up in the top 5. Corey was no challenge at all. Michael brought that 41 Snap-on Tools machine down to the inside. Michael Frisch now up to 4th. He's still got 11.9 seconds to make up between himself and current race leader Taylor Morgans, who has over 3.5 seconds between himself and the 44 car Brian Mercurio. 90 laps going on the board, so 10 laps to go in stage number 2. I think can Taylor stretch this thing out and maybe take this stage win there, Todd? I think last time around he pitted on lap number 46, so we'll have to see if he can't stretch it out 54 laps. That's a lot of laps to stretch it out here. 54 laps at Dover is a long time, not only on fuel, but especially on tires.
Yeah, definitely going to be a long time to see if these drivers can indeed do so. The 41, the man on a mission right now with those fresher tires than the rest of the drivers out there on the speedway. Will Taylor Morgan stay out in that 36 machine? I'm almost willing to bet he's going to probably come back down on the pit road. I don't know if he's going to stretch it out anymore, Phil. I think you'll see him come back down on pit road. He's playing it safe here, and maybe you'll see a different strategy in this next 100 laps.
We'll have to see. A lot of racing left to go. The TaylorMade Golf 200 for our friends at FTF 2018 Verizon Cup Series playoffs. This is race number 4, round number 1 for the round of 12. So can't believe we're already 3 races in, already into the 4th week of this 10-race freight that are going to crown a championship here in about 6 weeks at the Homestead Miami Speedway. Down we get to the final 4, but the story tonight is this round of 12 and 2-time winner in stage number 1, or round number 1, we should say. That round of 16, Taylor Morgan's the 2017 series champion, now out to a 4-second advantage over Brian Mercurio. Kevin McAdams is 3rd, Michael Frisch 4th. Blake McCandless has made his way back to the top 5. Tyler Head is 6th, Kyle Riley 7th, Brandon Lawson is 8th, Jordan Buster is 9th, and great rebound for the 222. Chris Emery, he's into the top 10, currently 1 lap down. At 222, not a car we've talked a lot about here tonight, but a good solid top 10 run as we approach halfway.
Meanwhile, we were talking to Kevin McAdams a little bit ago. He was talking about Mercurio being out in front of him, and he was keeping an eye on how fast and how far in front he was in that 44 machine. He has caught the 44 machine here coming down the front straightaway. That is the number 26 of Kevin McAdams. Mercurio in that 44 machine, so it's down to about almost half a second between those two drivers, Phil. So that's rather interesting how it's played out here in the 26. I do believe he did say he was going to try to stretch it here as far as he could. 44 Mercurio going to come down on the pit road. 26 goes right on by there. Does Kevin McAdams. I believe he's going to try to stretch it and try to get some of those points.
I think he's going to too, but let's head down to pit road. 35 miles per hour, the pit road speed. Brian Mercurio going to pit out of the 2nd position of that number 44. Long trip down this front straightaway. You get it from 160 miles per hour through these high bank straightaways down to that 30 miles per hour, probably the trickiest pit road on the entire NASCAR circuit. So here comes that Mercurio machine. Right side tires up on the air in his Ford. Right side tire work. That was quick. They'll swing down to the left side. He'll jack it up in the air. A little bit slow here on the left front. Get that back on. He'll hit the jack stands down. 44 car Mercurio. He'll rejoin the race. Was running in the second spot. We'll have to see how he cycles out as we're just about 2 laps away, Todd, from this stage. 2 laps away from the halfway mark.
Yeah, and I've been hanging with the leader here, current race leader, the number 26, as the 36 Taylor Morgans comes down, I do believe, onto pit road here. The 26 staying out so far. Kevin McAdams trying to save as much as he can here. He may burn up some stuff here as you're watching this 24 Cosman flash right by the 26 of Kevin McAdams. That's the product of new tires. We can't say that enough here this evening at Dover. That's how much faster they are than the guy that's on almost 50-lap-old tires, a little bit longer maybe for Kevin McAdams, that 26 machine. As he's coming around here, we're going to see if he can complete lap 100 and pick up stage win here for stage number 2.
I'll have to see if he can do so. Taylor Morgans did come down pit road. He got 4 tires. He's rejoined the ranks. But look at that 26 car. Crawl off of turn number 4. He's going to dive onto pit road right at the stage checkered flag. The question is he going to be able to hold off Michael Frisch once again? Have to see where he comes back to a line. I think Michael Frisch may sneak around, so it looks like the 01 may win stage number 2 once again. Now he'll have 2 stage wins to his credit here tonight. Michael not in the championship mix, but McAdams, by rolling down pit road, Todd, think unofficially he's going to finish up in stage 6, the last car in the lead lap. So it's stage points for him. Not a win, but he's going to pit now from that lead position. Right side's up in the air on 26. Looks like he got a little bit of a different, got a little crooked there on the entry, so that kind of stalled the service a little bit. Now over to the left side tires. Squeezing on that left front. Didn't give too much room at the wall there. Left side work is down. He floors it. Kevin McAdams going to join the race. 1 lap short of winning that stage. Michael Frisch now down on pit road.
Yeah, also, Phil, another event coming down here. The number 43, Kyle Riley's down on pit road. But the 36 at Taylor Morgan's already down on pit road again here with the 36 machine. He was already 1 lap down. Now he's coming down pit road again. I'm not sure what happened to the 36 at Taylor Morgan's. It looks like a drive-through penalty for the 36 at Taylor Morgan's. Ouch, that's going to hurt.
Well, I think he's come back down. It looks like a drive-through penalty, so it looks like Taylor Morgan speeding on pit road unofficially. I think that's the call. We saw him make a pass-through, and Kevin talked about it here a little while ago. Taylor very, very smooth, but he made that crucial mistake there, Todd. He had that big 3-second lead. Taylor Morgan's got 1 extra pit stop. Could throw this entire strategy for the race, and he may have to drive his butt off now as he's going to be, 1 lap or better down to the field. From the lead all the way down back outside the top 15. Scored 16th last time around. Tough break for Taylor Morgan's. Confirmed, Todd, it was speeding on pit road. That's a way to mess up your night down. But new leader, Blake McCandless, as they exit turn 4.
Yeah, definitely McCandless out there in the lead. I do believe he was coming down to pit road there, though, Phil, here in that 166 machine. Just waiting to see if I can get back around to him here rather quickly, as McCandless was down on pit road, and now he's coming back off of pit road. He did have 4 tires, that I did get to see what he was doing down there, but was not able to get the camera angle that I needed to get the 166 of Blake McCandless. He's out on the racetrack once again. He's going to have the freshest tires of just about everybody out there in that 166, so different type of strategy here. We're on lap 105. Just remember that 105 here for the 166, so he's going to have to be able to stretch it a little bit longer. You might see him stretch it there towards the end here on his final pit stop, but let's take a look. We're going to look at the strategy here of Justin Malello. He was 8th the last strategy, 8th again, Phil.
Yeah, he recycles to the 8th spot, 20 seconds behind our current race leader. That is now Brian Mercurio. No mistakes on pit road for the 44. He's now 2.5 seconds up on Cosman's number 24. Corey Carpenter currently running 3rd. Kevin McAdams now all the way back to the 4th spot, 8.3 seconds behind. And Jake Poulin, part-timer up here, was, right up at the edge of the cut line here. Is running for the championship. Did miss last week. Believe he attended the race at the Roval, the Charlotte Motor Speedway, in person. So surrendered his spot for a chance at the round of 12 here for a championship. But Jake having a great rebound run here tonight. The 01 up in the top 5. Solid run for Jake Poulin.
Yeah, definitely a solid run for Jake Poulin in that 01 machine. Just like you said, 11.5 seconds back for that 01. So He's having a good run there inside the top 5. Michael Frisk about 13 seconds back. But do remember, he's on a different strategy than most of these guys out there on the speedway. So I'm just waiting to see where the cars are all going to line out after all of this fill. Maybe lap 150 is going to be the venture point to see where these guys' strategies pretty much all meet here. And we're about 41 laps from that. So these guys doing a fantastic job here at Dover International Speedway. And it's been a barn burner so far here. These guys clean and green here for half the distance, a little over half the distance here this evening.
Well, they really have done a great job, but Todd is just kind of updating where those guys may meet in the middle. Well, those guys that are pit 35 and 70, well, they're due on pit road any time now. If they're at the very end of that, I'm seeing guys like the 53 and Malello starting to slide around. You know, Zach Buchanan, I think, has just now come to pit road. Ryan Naraki has as well. So, you know, guys like Malello, who didn't stretch it in those first 2 stages, looks like he may be doing a little bit more this time as he's 37 laps from his last pit stop. So I wonder how much time Justin's willing to surrender. He was 8th last time around. He has now dropped to a 13th position, 1 lap down. So he's definitely lost some time to these guys up front. So I'll have to see when the 53 does just decide to come on the pit road.
Yeah, definitely going to be a guy to keep an eye on for that 53 machine. Now I'm watching a battle here. And it's not for the lead, but 37 Ryan Naraki, he's down 2 laps right now. He's trying to get one of them back here. Around the race leader, Brian Mercurio, in that 44 machine. He's going to be able to do so. A little bit fresher tires than the number 44 machine, but Naraki in the 37 setting sail there. Now he's only 1 lap down, so that's a little bit better for that 37 machine.
It really is. And you look up now at the top 3 there, Todd. Corey Carpenter has made his way to 2nd. The race for the 3rd spot, that lasted about half a lap. Kevin McAdams around the number 24 of Cosman. Move that 26th car back up into a podium position here is starting to run down on laps 114 of 200. It has been caution-free to this point. FTF certainly showing to be the top of the creme, you know, the creme of the creme here as far as great, clean racing goes. These guys doing an awesome job here tonight. Outstanding run by these guys, but who doing it right now better than Brian Mercurio? A 6-second advantage over Corey Carpenter the last time around. We'll have to see next time at the line if that 30 is going to gain any time whatsoever.
As Kevin McAdams now goes low of the number 30 machine. Sorry about the little bit of a delay there. McAdams now down to the bottom side. It was 5.8 interval between the 30 and the 44. Now it was up to 6.2. Kevin McAdams was able to get around the 30 of Corey Carpenter. McAdams now sets sail for the 44 machine. And remember, he has ran down Brian Mercurio before here in that number 26 machine. So right now, Kevin McAdams in the catbird seat here with fresher tires than, say, the number 44.
There's just so many comers and goers here tonight in Dover. It's really, really hard to kind of keep track of where they all are, where the strategies they all sit and play, and where they currently run on the racetrack in correlation to where they're you know, the way their strategy is going to play out. But just kind of come back, Todd, to a race for the 7th spot. I saw Tyler Head running 7th, and I saw Blake McCandless run him down. Blake, you know, the last of those guys to pit, so he's got the fresher tires of all. He's able to make that way around the 64. Blake now up to the 7th spot, and it may not be too long before he runs down Jake Poole in the 01, who was dropped to 6. Blake McCandless probably the fastest car on the racetrack currently, as I believe now he's made his way around Jake. Put Blake McCandless now back up to the 6th spot.
Now, between him and the number 41, they're setting 22.6s, so those guys are rather quick compared to the rest of the field in front of them, 23.4s and 23.2s. Some of them are already in the 22.8s, so some are a little higher there, Phil, than, say, Blake McCandless, 22.7. So last time by Cosman right now, 23.586, so that's just showing you how much faster that Blake McCandless is right now in the 166.
Yeah, new tires making all the difference, but Todd, has got 19 seconds to run down between himself and the 44 of Brian Mercurio. Brian putting on a clinic here tonight in Dover. We saw Taylor Morgans do that early. Well, a pit road speeding penalty has put Taylor 1 lap down, currently 13th, so he's going to have to play a different kind of shenanigan type of game if he's going to put his way back to the lead lap and put himself in contention. It may need a caution flag at this rate to do just that, but this race caught 121 laps in, 121 miles into a TaylorMade Golf 200. We have been caution-free here tonight, and it just shows. These guys at FTF, they've been doing it a long time. These great car counts they get week after week here. 20 drivers coming through the pit area here tonight. Familiarity these guys have with the CXE, with running around each other. These awesome, treacherous racetracks these guys from Action Pack Tracks put out, and all the great work they all do. Who does it better than FTF? I just can't think of anybody out there who does it on the cutting edge to keep this sim that's, over 15 years old, fresh and relevant. Who does it better than these guys?
I would like to know who does, because we have not broadcasted them yet. There's some good guys out there, though, that race. These guys are cutting edge, though. They do have the EXE guys. They do have some of the mod builders in their group, and they do a fantastic job week in and week out. There's other leagues out there. We can't say anything bad about them other leagues. They do keep this simulation going just as much as FTF does. The FTF just tries to do what they can with the EXE kind of ordeal, try to kind of get the simulation going as far as the cars of today. And some of these other guys, I like the cars of yesteryear. So these are a little bit more difficult for me to drive, and it goes to show you how when these guys come into the cars of yesteryear, they're a little bit faster than we are, Phil.
Oh, absolutely. Ain't that, completely right. And I proved that once again out there tonight that, I was racing here before we came over to the broadcast booth this evening, and I showed once again how much I do suck out there. But, these new mods, they keep this game alive, but we don't care. New mods, new school, old school. We want to showcase all the great racing you've got going on out there. Full Velocity TV is the place to be, guys. We would love to come over and showcase all your great racing. NR 2003, where we have spent 5+ years, or back into iRacing, where we've spent, just a couple of months out there. We've been busy almost every night of the week with those guys out there all over the iRacing dirt community, pavement community. We'd like to show it all off. You got to head over to Full Velocity TV here on Facebook. If you're watching on Facebook Live, well, you have found the place to be. Send us a PM there offline. We will get a hold of you. Hopefully we can schedule a race date with you guys soon, showcase all the great stuff you got going on. If you're watching on YouTube, you can also find us on our Facebook page or by dropping us an old school email, fullvelocitytv@gmail.com. Contact us now. Get a date locked in. Dates for the winter time to the end of the fall, early on in the winter. We're already starting to get dates to the end of the year. So a lot of great stuff to come here. Going to be a busy couple of months, and I love being busy, Todd. I know you love being busy too. We've been showcasing you here on FTF every Sunday night, but we don't care what kind of racing. They got old mods, old tracks, new tracks. We want to show it off. I hope they all get a hold of us.
Yeah, definitely want to show off anything you guys have to offer here, whether you're from NASCAR 2003, iRacing. We're going to show if there's a new game out there you want us to try. We're more than willing to try to give it a try out there and try to broadcast it. May have to give us a little extra time to figure it out, but we're more than willing to give it a try, aren't we, Phil?
Well, if it's out there, we can get hands on it. We can figure out how to do it. Sure, we'll give everything a college try at least once. So here at the FTF Racing League here tonight for round number 4 of the FTF Verizon Cup Series playoffs here, how we're going to crown a champion in 2018. We've seen a couple of great championship races over the last couple of years. Who could forget that unforgettable night in 2016? We saw the champ David Schildhouse come into victory lane, called himself a champion 1 year ago. Taylor Morgan's brought himself to a championship reign. Who can do it once again this year? Can Taylor make it 2 in a row? Can Kevin McAdams pick up another FTF championship? How about Brian Mercurio, a guy I don't think any of us know too much about until we come to FTF, and to see this guy take the world by storm. Brian Mercurio right now there, Todd. Impressive evening for him. 6.4 seconds last time around. Even better, 131 laps on the board. Brian Mercurio, he's the stover so far tonight here in Dover, as we're now almost 3/4 of the way home in this one.
Yeah, almost like you said, we're over 3/4 of the way now for this race here. Is these guys putting on a whale of a show? I've been watching Mercurio, though, starting to bounce it off the wall, and he's starting to slip slide around here, that 44 machine. So it's interesting how fast maybe Kevin McAdams is right now. Last time by 6.199 behind the number 44 machine of Mercurio. Let's see what that last time by is. And he's probably going to make me eat my words. He's probably going to be a little bit slower, so just trying to see here what Kevin McAdams did here. And I think it's about the same lap time. So he is definitely keeping an eye on the distance between themselves. Actually 6.121 here this time by. So it is Kevin McAdams right now, just a tick faster than the 44 Mercurio. But, man, he's got a long race to go here. Still several pit stops to be made here for some of these guys. I'm going to say about 2. And some of these guys are going to try to stretch it out on 1 more.
Yes, they are. A lot here left to decide here over the course of what looks to be about 65 laps here at the Dover Downs International Speedway, the Monster Mile. You know, we've talked about this race so many times, but well, let's see who else we can talk to out there and you know, here during our live race conditions here tonight. And we'll see. We talked to Kevin. We talked to Justin. And we're just kind of going down, and you know, we've talked about, you know, Blake McCandless of the 166 all night long. You know, he was the last of those drivers to come onto pit road. Let's see if we can't pull Blake into the conversation. We've talked to Justin and to Kevin. I don't want to bug them anymore. If we'll do that during the post-race show, of course, we'll talk to one, if not both of those guys. But let's see if we can't find Blake. We can go all the way up to the Mile High Motorsports room where all those guys are hanging out, and we'll bring our old friend Blake into the conversation, get him all screened out, and see if we can't talk to the driver of the 166. Blake, you've kind of been on a different strategy from these guys all night long. The last of the drivers to come to pit road right after the exit of, end of stage 2, I believe it was lap 105 who came on pit road. These guys that have come in like lap 70, 75, and so on, you know, that 35-lap strategy, you were out there for about 54 laps last time. How's that going to play out the rest of the night? How's that going to impact your race?
Hopefully it plays out fine. We got about 13 laps up here till lap 150 right now. I'm just worried about trying to catch that 41. It seems like we're on similar strategies. I think you short pit those stages, got the stage win, and we're coming around pit road about the same time. We're starting to make up a little bit of ground though. Try to stay out a couple extra laps so that I could buy myself some extra fuel, and if I don't want to run too hard, or I could run a little bit harder without worrying about the tires, because that first run, the right front went red with about 5 laps left in the stage, so I've been kind of, trying to save it a little bit and kind of use up the right rear a little bit so the right front doesn't get too worn.
Well, Blake, you have we call you Mr. F4 for a reason, a guy who always pays attention to tire temps. Is there any more critical track that can eat up your tires faster than a concrete palace like a Dover does here tonight? How much does, that familiarity and that ability to save tires almost better than everybody else? How does that, benefit, you're going to benefit from that here as this race rolls on?
It benefits a lot. They changed setup in practice, made it a little bit tighter so that it would come into play, and just with the fuel strategy, makes it just so you could go as long as the stage and split the race up into 4 different runs. So right now, that's what we're on, 3-stop strategy, I think. Not sure if Kevin will be able to quite make it that long. So we'll see what happens right now. We're all worried about catching that 41 car, made up some time on here right now. I think we're running them down a couple tenths a lap. So I think the race for the win is between me and the 41. Unless caution were to come out, and in which case I may even stay out a little bit past lap 150 to see if we can get a caution. If we do, that'd probably secure me the race. So don't have much to lose, just out here running for fun, and don't want to play my card here over the air, but we'll see what we do.
All right, bud. Well, as always, great to talk to you once again. And one more thing for you. Tell us about getting on this pit road. We know Dover, very, very tough to get down to that 35-mile-per-hour speed. We saw Taylor Morgan's, get a black flag for speeding here. He was leading the race. How tricky is it to get down off that banking from 145, 150 miles per hour all the way down to that 35 when your tires are absolutely shot when you've run 50-plus laps on them?
Well, I think it's not just 35. It's the fact that it's at that yellow line that pit road starts, and the apron's flat. The apron 3 and 4 seems to have a lot more grip than 1 and 2. My God, getting off the pit road, I'm surprised we haven't had a wreck yet because it is so loose off the pit road trying to get onto the track. But the first time I came down pit road, I think the timing man on pit road gave me a little blessing because I thought I entered a little quicker than 35 and surprised that I wasn't black flagged there myself. So definitely backed it up a little bit more that last time coming on the pit road. And, that's one thing I don't want to do right now. If Frisch makes a mistake and I come out, again, I think it may be my race to win depending on, what happens with the 26.
All right, well, that's our buddy Blake McCandless. We bring him into the conversation. Blake, thanks again for a couple of words, bud, and keep the fenders clean on that. I want to see how your strategy plays out versus all those other ones out there. Great job tonight so far.
Yeah, we'll see. If we'd had a better qualifying effort, I think make up a couple seconds there, but I can kick myself for that. But yeah, hopefully this Yoo-Hoo Dodge Charger can go to the front. We'll see you on the other side in victory lane.
All right, I like that thinking there. Blake McCandless, Todd. Blake always plays a different drum when you come to a place like Dover. You play those tire temps, you play the track position, you play the tire wear game. Blake McCandless currently running fourth, 12 seconds behind, but I think we've seen this scenario before. But right now, it looks like up front, our race leader, Brian Mercurio, he's on pit road.
Yeah, Brian Mercurio down on pit road here in that number 44 machine, and watching him go to work on that 44's car here right now. Beautiful prepared number 44 car. Right side tires have been finished. They are put on. Looks like they're going around left side tires. 4 tires to call here. Just remember, this is lap 148, so he's going to have to stretch at 52 laps, Phil, to try to make it to the end here for the number 44 machine. So we'll see what happens here, how the dice are going to play out, how they're going to roll. 36 also on pit road, Taylor Morgans.
Taylor Morgan's going to pit himself out of what was the 8th position. I believe he was the first car, 1 lap down. He was the fastest car in all of Dover here tonight. He put himself up on the pole just about an hour ago, but now as we work, lap number 150, so 3/4 of the way home, this 200-mile, what has turned into a sprint race for these guys tonight at FTF. Taylor Morgan's left side tire work going on there in the middle of his 4-tire pit stop. Taylor, as we saw, speeding last time around on pit road, lost all that track position from the front to the back part of the top 10, 1 lap down. Taylor Morgan's rejoined the race, Todd, as he's trying to rally up and try to make all the best he can of this run here tonight. A heavy hitter early on was the guy on the short list of guys to win this one, but if he's going to win this one, he may need something special to happen. He's got 50 laps to make it happen.
He's definitely going to need some help here in that number 36 machine to try to make that happen here. 26 is Kevin McAdams now down on pit road. He's to the aid of his pit crew here, lap 151 here. So 49 laps to go. McAdams going to get 4 tires. It's going to be the way of the land, I do believe, for these guys is McAdams here, because tire wears is just so critical here tonight. McAdams is down and away here in that number 26, so he's going to join the field here. But Blake McCandless now your race leader in that 166.
Yeah, he absolutely is there. As Michael Frisch has brought the 41 rather. I keep calling him the 01. Been doing that a couple of weeks. Kind of got that number attached to him. But Frisch has brought the 41 down to pit road for 4 tires. They're over to the left side work. Very quick pit stop for the 41 team. Michael Frisch going to rejoin the race. He'll get down and away. But pit road, it's a very busy place right now.
Yeah, definitely a very busy place. We're watching 64 Tyler head down here. The 8 of Jordan Buster. Those guys completing up their pit stops and just waiting to see what these guys are going to do, where they're going to play out here. Different strategies here. I do believe these guys are done with pitting for the rest of the night, unless a yellow flag happens to come out there for that 64 or maybe the 8 machine. So we'll wait and see here how this is going to play out. Watching right now your current race leader, trying to get to him is Blake McCandless. He is your current race leader. The 30, Corey Carpenter, is in second right now, 1 lap down. So Blake McCandless right now, the only guy left out in the track that has not come down pit road.
No, just like we saw here at that lap 100 mark, Blake going to stretch it out once again. That may give him 10 laps more fuel than everybody here tonight. So that's going to allow him to push that car ever a bit so more there when he gets those fresh tires on. The only car in the lead lap, Corey Carpenter, has been on pit road. Cosman's been down. Jake Pullman on pit road. Brandon Lawson. Now, Todd, caution flag on the speedway. We just talked to Blake, hoping to roll the dice and get a caution flag. Well, that caution has now come out on the field at lap 156, and the 166 car of Blake, he is the only car left on the lead lap, so we're going to definitely see guys take the wave around. But the complexion of this race in Dover, it has just turned completely upside down. Guys like you saw Corey, Cosman, Brian, McAdams, you got to think all those guys just come on. They got to take the wave around. That may be their only saving graces. All the way up to the 8th spot is all the way down 1 lap, so all these guys, Todd, this one may have just completely changed upside down, and I believe you're ready to show us for the first time tonight the first caution flag for FTF at lap 155. Looks like a right front tire blowing. Show us what happened.
It indeed is a right front tire blowing here on the 53 of Justin Malello, and he's been a guy on different strategies and just pop, gone there. For the 53 machine here, coming into 3, right in the middle of the corner. You can just watch it go down here, and straight to the wall he goes. He bounces off, comes back down in front of the 222 machine. That is Chris Emery, and Emery hard into the bottom wall here. And wow, look at McAdams. Kevin McAdams making it through there, not even touched by the 22 machine, and Unfortunate event there for the 53 of Justin Malello sitting there in the middle of the track, applying his brakes, making sure he stays out of the way, make sure he doesn't take on any more unnecessary damage to that 53 machine.
Oh, yeah, not the night Justin wanted here in Dover. Was playing a different strategy than everybody else, and you see the 222 on his side, the 53 car on the wall. Whoever that was, McAdams sneaking by there, the 26. Holy crap, all that happening around them there. McAdams was running third. Now the caution flag turns this race completely upside down there, Todd. We're going to have about 42 laps to go here left on the restart. Who do you think this race benefits now? You got to think, we just talked to Blake. He talked about he's going to wait till that very last second to come to pit road. It may be the winning move of the race because he's going to be able to come to pit road. All these guys that may take the wave around, he's going to have about 10 lap fresher tires than everybody else out there. You got to think it's definitely going to be to his advantage.
It's definitely got to be to his advantage. It's probably going to be his race to lose here in that 166 machine is when he comes down on pit road. Yeah, these guys are going to take a wave around. They're not going to be able to come down onto pit road. Like you said, 10 lap fresher tires does mean a lot there. And for that 166, that's what he's going to have. Brian McCurry right now is second and third is Kevin McAdams. But these guys trapped a lap down. I do believe they're going to take that wave around. Looking Justin Malello come down here. And the 222 also coming down pit road here to the service of their pit crews to get the damage fixed, repaired, and try to get back out in the track and try to salvage some kind of finish here at Dover. As again, the monster mile eats up another car.
Yeah, it really did. You see the 53 is all tore to pieces, and I wonder if his emotions may be all tore to pieces, Todd. He is one of those 12 guys running for the championship. He advanced himself by the slimmest of margins to make the round of 12, and now having hiccups here tonight. And I believe of all the 12 guys championship eligible, I think only his teammate Ryan Naraki has had a worse night. So, those two guys having just terrible nights out there. Jordan Buster's had an off night. Kyle Riley's back there one lap down outside of the top 10. So you got to think guys that are running for a championship right now, guys like Corey Carpenter, Brian Mercurio, Kevin McAdams, Chris Wetz, I believe Cosman going to get back on the lead lap on a wave around. You got to like how those guys are sitting right now as far as where their championship position is going to sit. Guess we got 2 more races before the next elimination, but anytime you get a good solid run, capitalize on some guys having some bad luck or just getting lucky here with the way this caution flag falling. It may not seem like a lot now, but in 2 weeks, all these points these guys may gain, this may be the difference between advancing and being eliminated before that round of 8.
Yeah, definitely. And Blake McCandless just out there to get that W, the good old-fashioned W there in the 166 machine. So he's trying to take one of those lucky golden tickets away from one of the drivers to get into that very, very next round of 8 here. So if he does able to do that there, Phil, it's going to be based on points. So if you can win, obviously you're in the round of 8. But Blake McCandless right now going to try to play spoiler here in the 166 to take down a W and take one of them golden tickets away.
Oh, absolutely right. You're seeing some guys about to take the wave around. 30 car of Corey Carpenter are going to be the lucky dog, and then we're going to see the rest of the field that may take a wave around. So you got to think the 44 is going to, the 26 for sure, the 41 probably. Not sure how many more of those guys can take that wave around, but we're about to come to the restart. Blake McCandless is going to bring the field to green. He's going to be that control car up front. You got to wait to see how this kind of all plays out. Unofficially, I think we're going to call 5 cars back to the lead lap. He's going to have Joey Bailey alongside of the restart. Joey currently running 15th, 3 laps down. We're back to green flag racing, 160 laps up on the board here. 40 to go with Dover.
Yeah, 40 to go at Dover. And look at the 166 of Blake McCandless down on the bottom of the 79 machine, and Joey Bailey trying to get around him, trying to get one of his laps back there the hard way. And the number 79 machine right now out front of the 166 of Blake McCandless. Corey Carpenter also on the lead lap. Brian Mercurio in the 44. He's on the lead lap. Kevin McAdams and Michael Fresh in that 41 machine. So things have definitely changed, Phil, around the speedway here. Watching these guys get back onto the lead lap and watching the 166's strategy seems to have paid off so far. We'll just have to wait to the bitter end here as we're on lap 161 of 200. 39 laps remain.
39 laps remain. Blake McCandless going to lead the field into turn 1 now. Caution flag going to come back on the speedway. Caution flag for the second time here tonight. So that's going to be a benefit for guys like Cosman on the 24. Looks like he's unofficially going to have the wave around. He's going to get back to the lead lap. So there's going to be no help there, as I don't think a wave around for anybody is going to help this time. So We saw 150 plus laps of green flag racing now right away, slowed by the second caution flag of the night, and just trying to kind of see where it come from. Believe the 53 may have also unofficially may have got a piece of this one. Not quite sure there. I have to go back and take a look, but I think I can feel an ejection in Justin Malello's voice. He may have got a piece of this one as well. So we're under yellow the second time tonight here, but they're going to have some more guys that may take the wave around this time, may put themselves back to the lead lap. But all these top 5 guys now, top 6, they're going to come to pit road. They're going to be at equal tires versus all the rest of the guys. But let's see what happened. Todd, you have that picture ready to show us, put us under caution flag number 2 of the evening.
We're definitely going to try to show it as best as we can here, and it happened with the 222 and the 53 machine. That was 4 wide here at Dover. Man, you can imagine that does not work here. So the 222 machine just, man, it looks like he got loose. He got up top here, got up in the marbles, and came down, connected with Justin Malello, and around goes the 222. Just barely misses the 37 machine. Almost melee in the 37 machine as they were going by there. That's Ryan Naraki to make his night even worse in that 37 machine, but not happened not to happen. So the 222 machine, again, Chris Emery involved in this yellow along with the 53 machine.
And it feels like Groundhog Day all over again because it's the same 2 drivers that were collected in the last caution flag. So sometimes, Todd, you just find a buddy on the racetrack, and regardless of what you do, you run out there all night long clean, you get to a late race, you get together, and what did you know, a pesky restart, you find yourself back together again. Unfortunate for, Justin and, Chris Emery out there on the 222. You just find a partner sometime out there. You find somebody to tango with, and unfortunately those guys have done the dance twice now together and within the last 10 laps.
Yeah, and that's something that he doesn't want happening, is Justin Malello just barely making it in here to the round of 12 by the skin of his teeth here. Now trying to make it to the round of 8 and not having a good race here at Dover. Malello 15th currently on the field here, and it may even get a little bit worse if he goes down any more laps. So Justin Malello trying to hang on to the best finish that he can here at Dover. He did not, I believe this is not one of his favorite tracks for the 53 machine, but you got a great equalizer here in the races. Talladega is going to be a part of this one there, Phil. So this segment here for the 3 to get to the round of 8, Talladega going to be involved. That's a great equalizer. You may see somebody else punch their ticket, but somebody different that you normally don't see, maybe down in the lower portions of the round of 12 here.
And it's just kind of talking to a couple of guys here behind the scenes, but you got to feel there, Todd. You come to that restart. Blake McCandless played the caution flag just perfect. And now he's got all these guys, Cosman, Mercurio, Frisch, McAdams, even Corey Carpenter, guys that have really fast race cars. Well, he had a 10-lap, tire advantage on these guys. The problem is now this quick caution. They've all come to pit road. The advantage that Blake had built up by playing that strategy, well, it's kind of all blew up in his face now because all these guys going to have equal tires. This is going to get interesting through these last 30 laps here at Dover. 165 on the board. Believe we're about 1 lap away from getting back to green flag racing. But that advantage that of 166 had, well, it's pretty comfortable to say. It's gone now.
Yeah, definitely evaporated there for the 166 machine, and that's not what Blake wanted here to see. Another quick yellow after he had a nice strategy play, and hopefully he's able to hold on to the lead here. But I do believe that also puts, it's got to be pretty close to be putting the 36 back onto the lead lap there too, Phil. Taylor Morgan's a guy you're going to have to watch out for, as he was the quickest here, I do believe, here in the early portions of the event before he got nailed with that pit road violation, the speeding penalty. So we'll have to wait and see if Taylor Morgan's has anything in store for the rest of these guys.
We'll have to wait and see there, Todd. He's going to be scored 11th. Believe he took a wave around here, so Taylor Morgan's going to get back to the lead lap, but he's going to have a little bit older tires than those guys up at the front of the field. McCandless, Cosman, Mercurio, Michael Frisch. Those are the first 2 rows. We're back to green flag racing. Green flag back in the air. We saw a quick caution flag here off the last one, so hopefully these guys, just like that restart, just like the first 150 laps, can kind of get sorted out. But you look there, about 5th position on back, 3 wide down the backstretch, almost 4 wide as they head toward turn 3.
Yeah, beautiful battle going on through the middle of the pack, but there was a lead swap there for first position. The 30 of Corey Carpenter ends up getting around the 166 of McCandless on the outside of the speedway, but Corey Carpenter to lead Blake McCandless to that second spot. Meanwhile, nice battle going on for third is between Mercurio and McAdams. McAdams on the top side in the orange Bobcat sponsor machine. The 44, that black and yellow machine down on the bottom, that's Mercurio. McAdams drifts up the track up in the marbles. That's going to leave the door wide open for Michael Frisch in that 41 machine. He's back down to the bottom here for the 26. He's able to slide right in front of the 41. So what a great move there by the 26 to try to get himself off that top groove.
Yeah, he rolled up to that top shelf where you kind of collect a little bit of marbles on your tires. McAdams got really lucky there, Todd. Those tires weren't, more dirty than they were. He was able to squirt back in line. Kevin McAdams currently running fourth. We know Michael Frisch got a really good piece. He has won the first two stages of this race here tonight. The 41 trying to make this thing a clean sweep, currently running in the fifth spot off of turn number 4. This time around there, Todd, 170 laps on this 200. Go up to the scoreboard. The TaylorMade Golf 200 here, presented by our friends at FTF Racing. The 2018 Verizon Cup Series playoffs coming to you live right here on Full Velocity TV. As we now have a battle for that 4 spot shaping up. McAdams is there. Michael Frisch trying to find his way to the bottom side. Have to slide back in there single file as they head toward turn 3.
Yeah, I thought the 41 had it there on the McAdams machine. Not able to pull up alongside him quite yet here. But he's starting to gauge that 26 in front of him. These guys in the top 5 have been the fastest drivers here pretty much all night. Minus maybe the 36 machine of Taylor Morgan's, but Morgan's on old tires, so that's not going to help him here in this stage. If he gets another quick yellow, he might be able to go down there and change him there in the 36 machine. But right now, great battle going on. I believe there's another battle starting to heat up for that top position here between the 166 of Blake McCandless and the 30 of Corey Carpenter. Corey dives down to the bottom here in turn 1, drifts up the track a little bit. McCandless able to roll out of the throttle and get down to the bottom there, able to pull off almost a side-by-side here down into turn 3. He's going to be able to actually do it here, but the thing is, the question's got to be answered. Is he going to have the drive off? Corey Carpenter has a nice drive off here, going to lead this time by, but McCandless still right there at his door coming into 1.
Yeah, he really is. McCandless down to the low side of Corey Carpenter for the lead. Who is going to have the advantage off of turn number 2? The outside prevailing there. Corey getting a terrific launch off of that high side, but Blake has that preferred line down low. They're having a good drag race through 3 and 4 this time. You can see that race for the lead right there, Todd, but look who is just bringing right back into the fray. Well, Brian Mercurio a little while ago had a big 6 to 8 second lead over the field. He's now running third. He is right there. It's almost pick a lane. Nobody's got an advantage for that lead as they work their way off of turn number 4.
Yeah, lanes almost identical there between the 166 of McCandless and the 30 of Corey Carpenter. Carpenter drifts up the track a little bit more than he has been here at Dover. He's going to leave that door wide open for McCandless. McCandless squeezes up in front of the number 30 of Carpenter. Carpenter stays right back in that second spot, but he cannot stay on the bottom in that 30 machine. He's starting to leave the door open for Mercurio in that number 44, so we're going to have to see if Carpenter can hold it down to the bottom, and he's able to do this time. But he's starting to drift up there in 1 and 2 really bad in that 30 machine.
Really is, as is Kevin McAdams with 26. He's left the racetrack. That's a race for 4th. That's allowed Michael Frisch, the 41, down to the low side. Position change, put Michael Frisch now up to 4th. We know he's going to fast piece. He's going to drag race down the backstretch to 41, now up to P4. He's got Mercurio up ahead as they hit turn 3.
Yeah, Mercurio definitely up ahead here in that number 44 machine. Just watching Carpenter drift up the track here off of turn number 4. Almost hitting that wall there. Gets a little bit squirrely. That leaves the door open for Mercurio. Mercurio dives down to the bottom here in that 44 machine. Carpenter left out to dry in the number 30. Leaves the door open for Frisch too. Also in that 41 machine. Almost a side-by-side battle there for that third spot. He's able to get back down in front of that 41, Phil.
Caution flag out on the speedway there, Todd. Caution flag number 3 at lap 177. So this thing's going to change once again. It looks like something happening around Kyle Riley's number 43, which is certainly unfortunate, as Kyle had rallied back to the lead lap, was 11th last time around. But this one looks like may put him in the spin cycle, and tough to tell from here. There's a little bit of damage on that race car. Not sure if he got a shot from somebody else afterward or not, but nonetheless, under the caution flag for the 3rd time this evening. Going to put Todd back to work down there with a Full Velocity TV replay. But you guys in the chat box, you have been alive out there all night long. Appreciate all you guys of tuning in. Not only here tonight live on YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch TV as well. multi-streaming here is going to be the norm for Full Velocity TV. I'd like to offer all you guys all 3 unique platforms out there, whether you like getting your stuff right from Facebook Live, you prefer that direct YouTube link there, it is there, and the other media here on Twitch TV. We have some stuff planned. Going to have some Twitch exclusive programming for you, so keep an eye to the Full Velocity TV Facebook page and all our media out there, as there are definitely some great things to come for us here in the near future. But Todd, under the caution flag for the 3rd time tonight, this one got Kyle Riley. Show us what happened out there. A solo car spin, or was there more contact?
There was definitely some contact out here, Phil. Let's go start with the 43 machine. He made some contact, and he made some more contact with the number 8 of Jordan Buster. But you can see the smoke coming off the tires of the 43 machine here of Kyle O'Reilly getting tad bit loose. Jordan Buster gets up underneath him, gets more loose here, gets in front of Buster into the wall. He comes back down in front of the 21, or 71, excuse me, of Chris Wetz. That makes another parlay here down into the turn. Kyle O'Reilly was the initial start of this as he got a little bit loose, came back up in front here of that number 8 machine, and 8 then in turn spins into the wall, comes down and collects the number 71 of Watts. So tough break for these drivers here. You could just see him just get loose. He pounds that wall, comes back down. Watts has nowhere to go but to plow him here through the corner. And Watt's able to continue on there. I believe he's going to have some heavy nose end damage. But the 8 of Jordan Buster goes through a spin cycle. The 43, yeah, he's still going.
Yeah, still going there, but you can see how this racetrack is self-cleaning. You see all those guys bounce off the outside wall in that very steep banking. All over the Monster Mile just takes you all the way down to the inside part of the racetrack, and you feel bad for Chris Wetz just trying to kind of stay out of the way. Chris on the lead lap, currently 13th, but yeah, you see the heavy damage to the 71. Kyle Riley's got some contact. The 8 of Jordan Buster certainly has, but developing situation here from pit road, Todd, as all these guys came to pit road. The 30 of Corey Carpenter came in second, speeding on pit road with 20 laps of the going, the end of the longest line penalty. That's not only going to put Corey now outside the top 10. He's going to have to restart behind everyone out there. Tough break for the 30. That is going to be a long road to come through to pass not only lap traffic, but 12 really good fast race cars in front of you. Corey Carper is, chancing a really good run here tonight, maybe potentially on a podium. Looks like it may have come up in smoke here in these last 20 laps.
Yeah, definitely a tough break for that number 30 machine of Corey Carpenter coming down and too fast on pit road for the 30. So that's not what you want to see here. So he's going to be relegated pretty deep in the field here. Getting ready to go back to green flag racing here at Dover once again, I believe. Just wait until we get to that restart box, and we're going to throw that green flag back into the air. Green flag is in the air. McCandless immediately down to the bottom right there in front of Mercurio to turn number 1. McCandless already out to 2.5 car length advantage over the 44 of Brian Mercurio. Let's see how this battle is going to heat up here as we're on lap 180 of 200 down the back straightaway. Single file the way of the lane here to turn 3.
And to turn 3, but I think the best restart of all may have been the 26 of Kevin McAdams. He got a great launch off the outside of the 41 of Michael Frisch. Kevin McAdams up to the 3rd spot. I like the way that car looks. Really looks down to the racetrack right now as they come off of turn number 2, starting to make up some time. Kevin McAdams currently running 3rd, but I'm not going to be surprised at all if he's not up to Mercurio's bumper and maybe makes a run for the race lead here in these waning laps here. We're down under 20 laps to go. 17 when we hit the line here for the TaylorMade Golf 200.
As Blake McCandless continues to lead here at Dover, just watching him move his lines around here, going through turns 1 and 2. Looks like he drifted up the track. May came in a little bit hot there into turn number 1. But just trying to work on the bottom. He does not want to give up the bottom here to Mercurio, or maybe the 26 of McAdams here. Mercurio is indeed running a little bit faster the last time by. Let's see about this time by here. As Mercurio, a 22.147. Blake McCandless, a 22.175 last time by. So Blake McCandless, right now your current race leader here in the 166 machine. Just a tick slower than the 44 Brian Mercurio, but who is faster? No other than the 26 of Kevin McAdams with a 22.070. He's your quickest car on the speedway right now.
Yeah, and you almost can cue the Jaws music because they just now get under 15 laps to go for the field. 15 miles left to go here at the Monster Mile. Blake McCandless holding this field awful. This one's going to change once again there, Todd. Is caution flag going to come back on the speedway? Caution flag for the 4th time here tonight. So what we did see was, 150 laps of green flag racing. These last 30 laps now slowed by 4 caution flags, and this one now may have claimed the likes of a 64 car of Tyler Head there, Todd. This one looks like may have stacked up the entire field to about 6th position on back. So we're going to put you back to work down there. I'm going to catch up on guys out there in the chat box. I see the champ David Schildhouse out there. I see Mr. David Day. Rob Larkin's out there going back and forth. I've seen Gary Piccolo check in. I believe Andy Margot's out there. That's just in YouTube. I know we've had guys watching here through Facebook Live. I've been kind of trying to monitor that all night long. I did see Bob Sire out there watching here a little bit ago. A couple other guys I've seen sprinkled on and off through our Facebook Live feed. So glad they've all tuned in there. But YouTube looks to be the place to be right now to watch Full Velocity TV. Under the fourth caution flag of the night. This one got Tyler Head there, Todd. Show us what happened.
Not only did it get Tyler Head, but it got Chris Wetz in a really, really bad way as he goes for a ride here in that 71 machine. We're going to follow along with Chris Wetz here as he takes that wild ride down the front straightaway here. The number 64 makes contact hard into the outside wall and up and over for the 71. And that's not what he wanted to do here. Chris Wetz here involved in the second yellow here in the last, I'm going to say the last 2 yellows he's been involved in. And this time, black smoke barreling out of the 71 machine, and that's a tough break for Chris Wetz in that 71. So, Phil, Tyler Head was involved, but he's no worse for the wear as the 71 took the brunt force of it there as he went up and over.
Up, over, and that just shows you how fast and how on edge these cars race at Dover. So, caution flag on the speedway. Now a couple of, what I'm hearing from guys in the race chatter there, Todd, maybe a couple of sprinkles out here at Dover right now. So, maybe a little bit of moisture on the racetrack. This one maybe a lap or 2 extended caution, as I've seen a couple of guys have to come down to pit road, may have to do some work to the racetrack here. So I did see Kevin McAdams, was one of the guys down there, had to come in. Looked like with some moisture on the windshield as he came to pit road. So may have an extended caution flag here, as looks like a little bit of moisture here on the racetrack. So we'll have to see if we can't bring somebody else into the conversation. Who do you think we should talk to? All right, Todd, I was giving you a bone. See who our next conversation could be. But you know what? Let's talk. You know who we haven't talked to in a while? Let's go talk to Brandon Lawson. Let's bring the 9 car into the conversation. Brandon always gives us a really good interview anytime we talk to him. So let's see if we can't bring the 9 car in the conversation. Brandon Lawson, one of our championship contenders, out there on the racetrack, currently inside the top 10. Brandon Lawson, my friend, great run for you tonight in that number 9. A little bit of off strategy from these guys through that first 150 lap run, but all these caution flags at the end, it's kind of thrown everybody's strategy upside down. Everybody on equal footing. What do you think we can see here through this last 12 laps?
I think it's going to be very exciting, but we're about to go green here, so I want to get back to the race.
All right. No problem there. We bring Brandon in for a quick second. We'll have to throw him back up. Brandon, once again, you go to the Mile High room, correct?
Correct.
All right. We'll put Brandon Lawson back up there. Thought I had another extended caution here. We heard moisture on the racetrack, but they kind of waved that off. They put 1 to go, Todd, so we're going to get back to racing.
Yeah, definitely wasn't moist enough here as green flag getting ready to come back out in the speedway. Spinning the tires, the 01 of Jake Poulin. He's all the way down to the bottom. The 43 of Kyle Riley up on the top side. This is going to be interesting here. Lots of different tire strategies. 3 wide through the corner here. The 43 of Kyle Riley way up on the top side of the speedway here. Look at Taylor Morgan's in the 36 wholesale move there on the top shelf of the speedway. He's around Cosman in that number 24 machine.
4 wide off of turn number 4. I don't know if you got a glimpse of that, Todd, but it was a 3rd position on back. Michael Frisch right in the middle of it. Kyle Riley's 43 was there. I believe that was also trying to see. I think Cosmo's 24 was in that fray. They were 4 wide off of turn 4. Also Blake McCandless right there as well. After that all works out, Taylor Morgan's, Todd, somehow, some way back to the race lead here at Dover. 10 laps remaining.
Lots of guys bouncing it off the wall down the front straightaway. We were seeing 3 and 4 wide, now 2 by 2 by 2. So a little bit calmer per se here through turns 1 and 2 down the back straightaway. These guys fighting tooth and nail for every inch of real estate they can get here on lap 191 to 200 through 3 and 4 down the front straightaway. It is still the 36 of Taylor Morgan's leading us about the 44 of Brian Mercurio all over the rear bumper here of the 36.
Yeah, and you take this back to about an hour and a half ago. This is kind of how we saw them 1-2. We had Kevin McAdams there. Well, Kevin had some issues here under this last caution flag. He had to come in late, have to stay on the field, but good race going on for the lead. Morgan's throwing a big block on Mercurio. They almost made contact through 3 and 4. Down the front stretch, Morgan's going to hold the spot. Mercurio looks to have the better of the two cars right now. Morgan's holding the bottom of the exit of turn 2.
Here comes Blake McCandless in that 166. He's loving the fighting that's going on in front of him. The 41 also down to the bottom here. He's trying to make a go of it around Blake McCandless, but McCandless right now, seeing these guys fight tooth and nail here for that top spot. It's just leaving the door wide open, but here comes the 41 and Michael Frisch down to the bottom side. That's a nice battle heating up for that third spot. The 41 side by side with the 166 to McCandless. McCandless gives it up here to try to maybe make another run at the 41 machine, but still up front, it's Taylor Morgan to the 44. Brian Mercurio really starting to reel him in through the corner here. The 44 machine is a little bit better here in the middle of the corner.
You see those two guys racing up front, but I think the best car out there right now, maybe that 41 car of Frisch running third. He's now glued to the back bumper of Mercurio. You see these guys starting to slide up the racetrack. Taylor's almost having to make that thing 2 to 3 lanes wide as Mercurio pestering him. But here comes Michael Frisch to the back bumper. A great 3-car race. 5 more trips around the Monster Mile.
Yeah, 5 more laps remain here for the 36 of Taylor Morgan's. Here comes the 41 down to the bottom here. Michael Frisch making a good run here in that 41 machine. Side by side battle with Mercurio here. And that's going to leave the door open here for the 166 too to try to get by. That's Blake McCandless. He's trying to get a podium finish here. Mercurio slams the door and contact made, and around goes Mercurio up into the wall there off the bumper of the 166.
And I'm not sure really Blake did anything wrong there. I think it was Mercurio trying to put himself in a lane that maybe not have been there. So I believe that's going to put caution flag. Yes, it is caution on the racetrack again. You caught it right there live on your screen here. 3 laps remaining. You know, these guys at FTF, we have to remind you guys, the point of no return is 2 laps to go. They're going to try to do everything they can to finish this race under green. They will go past the scheduled 200-lap distance. They'll go 200-1, even up a 202 if they can do it. So what these guys do, gentlemen, caution's allowed to eliminate some of this time under the caution flag. So this one should get back to go here, Todd, but we should see, it looks like maybe potentially a green-white checker finishes. Now some shenanigans, guys faking on and off pit road. Blake McCandless, the first of the leaders, he's going to come on there and at least try his hand at least 2 right side tires.
Meanwhile, we have a replay queued up and ready here, Phil, from helicopter view, just to see what happened here between Mercurio and the 166 of McCandless. Mercurio was down to the bottom side here. It looks like he checked up there in front of the number 166 machine. The 41 looked a tad bit slower there as he tried to squeeze it down in here in between the 41 and the 166. He had to check up, and Blake McCandless just gets into the rear after the 44. It has to check up for the 41. So, like you said, Phil, call could go any way. I'm glad I'm not an FTF admin here tonight, and that's why I don't make calls out there on the speedway. But the 44 and the 166 made contact. The 41 was there. He was in front of him. So I guess you got to be responsible for the guy in front of you.
Yeah, and you can see that from that blimp view. That gives you a really good idea of how that wreck really happened there. Mercurio trying to slide down in line. Should the 66 car have lifted? Should he not have? We're going to let everybody out there on YouTube Live maybe make that call. That was really tough, but who is going to be tough here on this restart? Taylor Morgan's going to lead this field back to green. Michael Frisch now is going up to the outside. Looks like McCandless may restart somewhere in the top 5. Cosman's up in the top 5. Joey Bailey, 79, has rebounded. So what I'm hearing from race control there, Todd, this replay is going to be under review, but it is not going to happen until post-race. So guys who may have been involved here that may have some championship implications, they needed to come down and take their end of the line penalty for getting that yellow flag. But we'll have to wait and see. We're getting ready to go. Green-white checker to finish it. They're coming off at turn 4. Green flag going to go back in the air.
Green flag went back in there and spun the tires. The 41 machine of Michael Frisch. Wow, he pounded that wall. Here comes the 79 machine. I'm not sure if he's in the fray. Yeah, Joey Bailey in the 79 machine. Here comes Blake McCandless in the 166, moving his way up to the 3rd spot here. He's all over the rear bumper of the 41 machine. Taylor Morgan's through 3 and 4 here. Going to get a white flag here. McCandless up on the top shelf of the speedway. He is really starting to reel in that 36. White flag is in there. One more trip around speedway. And here comes McCandless down to the bottom.
McCandless down to the bottom on those fresh tires. He's going to take the lead off of turn number 2, put Blake McCandless to the lead as white flag is on the speedway. Can he pull the upset? We thought Taylor Morgans would rally all the way back from laps down off a pit road speeding penalty, but off of turn 4, checkered flag in the air. Call Blake McCandless the unofficial winner of a TaylorMade Golf 200. Corey Carpenter going to rebound for second. Taylor Morgans third. Kevin McAdams fourth. And Brandon Lawson fifth. But we have to say there, Todd, these results are unofficial. We're going to let FTF admins go back and take a quick look at this, and we'll then move into the post-race show. But we can call Blake McCandless unofficially the winner. I guess the question is going to be going back and reviewing that last caution flag. So results are definitely going to be unofficial. So we'll pause here for a brief minute. We'll banter back and forth. But, man, what a terrific finish. What a great call by Blake McCandless. Now, whether that win is going to stand up or not is going, remain to be seen. But you got to love a hell of a move there coming in for those 4 fresh tires. It showed you how he was able to carve up the field on that restart.
Definitely able to carve up the field there in the 166. Blake McCandless taking down the victory, the unofficial victory here, FTF Dover Speedway. This is going to be his second victory here with FTF, Phil, so he's going to be ecstatic down in victory lane, I do believe, and nice win for Blake McCandless unofficially here. It's going to be Corey Carpenter, Taylor Morgans, Kevin McAdams, Brandon Lawson, Jake Poulin, Michael Frisch, Jordan Buster, Joey Bailey, and Brian Mercurio in the number 44 machine. Going to round out your top 10 here at the FTF race here at Dover. So fantastic job for these guys, and hopefully we're able to talk to the winners and get a little bit of word with Justin Malello of how the points are going to scramble up after this one.
All right, so going to move toward what we can have a post-race show by these guys. What we can tell you for certain, well, Taylor Morgans is going to definitely end up on the podium, so we'll definitely bring what we unofficially can call third place right now, that being the number 36 car of Taylor Morgans. Taylor, congratulations, buddy. A night that went, from great to upside down to having to rally back all night long, caution flags falling just right, and you come to the white flag with the race lead. God, tell us, for all the emotions you felt with that race, tell us at least some about it.
Well, I felt pretty lucky to be in contention there at the end. I made a stupid mistake there and sped on that second green flag stop, and I was pretty bummed about that, but yeah, luckily was lucky. So ended up having a pretty good finish, a lot better than I should have, so that's good.
Well, it certainly did, and you're able to rally back for what looks like right now, at least unofficially, a third-place finish. That could change one way or the other. It remains to be seen, but you're going to be no worse than third. So you got to think, with all you overcome here tonight, putting on the pole, leading the majority of all the laps there, you have to be happy at least to finish this up third and at least give yourself some positives of momentum. May not be a win, may not be the automatic card for the round of 8, but you at least got to feel better that you got some really good points out of this night.
Yeah, it feels good. Would have liked to seen that go green there. I don't know what happened behind me, but that was a little unfortunate, and was just, I felt like if I pitted, everyone else would stay out. If I stayed out, everyone else pitted, and I still thought I had a decent enough cushion to be able to hold those guys off, but didn't. But yeah, it's all right to get third, I guess. I'm one step closer to locked myself in to the next round, so can't complain.
No, can't complain at all there, Taylor. And it shows you the type of race car driver you are when you come with a third-place finish at FTF, and you can be a little bit disappointed that you only got third and all the stuff you had to overcome here tonight. But overall, a positive night. I know we've had a lot of people watching. We're on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitch TV. Great crowd out there tonight. Take the floor one more time and salute all those guys out there. Thank you, sponsors. Everybody you got out there.
Oh, yeah, thank you so much to Reese's for your $0 investment to my team. The whole Hershey company. I appreciate it so much. And congrats to whoever wins, whether it be Blake or Corey. Those guys deserve it. They ran well all day. Didn't make any mistakes. So, yeah, congrats to those guys.
All right, well, that's our third-place finisher tonight, Taylor Morgans. You can hear it in his voice. I love the interview. That's one of the better ones we're going to hear, thanks to the Reese's Company. Always great to take a little jab out there like that. But that's Taylor Morgan's. He's going to finish up third here tonight, but we'll see. We can't run a little bit further down pit road. We're going to talk to the 30 car of Corey Carpenter, who, Corey, I believe unofficially, you're at least second place right now. You had to overcome some late, shenanigans here tonight, too. A little bit of I believe, penalty on pit road late, able to rally back to second. Tell us about that night. That was a hell of a night.
Well, beginning of the race, I really got myself on the wrong strategy at the beginning, cooking the right front too. I was trying to save fuel, and I ended up rearing the right front too much, and I had to pit early, so I was off strategy from the get-go. First pit stop, I didn't make the first stage, didn't make the second stage, but finally that caution came out around lap 150 or so that I was in second place, and the rest is history. The end, I don't even know. I have to watch that back. I was in second, and then I was in 10th, and then I was in second, and then back and forth, so it's fun. At least we didn't wreck.
Well, at least in wreck, it was definitely a yo-yo for you all night long, as it was a lot of guys. But tell us how this racetrack played out. Obviously, Dover, a place that, eats up tires. How was your race car over the course of the long run? But could you run it really consistent, or did you have to really baby it, knowing that right front tire was probably going to get heated up really good?
Well, the way you were supposed to run is you're supposed to baby it and try to use as little right front as possible, trying to make it last the full 50 laps. I think once people figure that out, it's pretty easy, but the first run we didn't know, so I was just running my normal line, which wears a little bit more right front on these tighter setups, so I didn't have right front to make it. I didn't want to risk it, and I figured a caution would come out eventually, and it worked in our favor. But the track itself, it was very hard to pass. I feel like everybody was racing the racetrack. Nobody was really racing each other. Everybody was just focused on racing the track and making sure their tires got through it.
Well, that's a great observation right there, Corey. I kind of love that insight. I kind of agree with you a lot on there. But, hey, you got to feel good here. At least it looks like a second-place finish for you. You came in tonight third of the standings. It's going to allow you to feel a little more comfortable here, getting as close to advance to that round of 12. But as we always do here, Bud, on Full Velocity TV, I'm going to give you the mic one last time. We've had a lot of people out there watching tonight between Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitch TV. The floor is yours to say hello to all of them now.
Yeah, for sure. As always, thank you guys for doing this. And this is the second season in a row you've done the chase for us, and these are always really fun to come back and watch. And it's just cool that we're still doing this in this game this far in. I feel like I say this every interview, but it really is awesome that we still have this many people running the league in a 2003 game. And thank the admins, Brandon, Kevin, and Justin and Adam when he's here, and everybody else that shows up week to week. They're the reason we still do this. So thanks to them, everybody's here, and I don't know how long this is gonna last, but it's still amazing every time we show up with more than 20 cars.
Absolutely. I could not agree more. So that is our friend Corey Carpenter. Great job tonight, dude. Taking that thing home in the second spot. But I'm going to throw this thing down toward victory lane. And I'm sure it's going to be one relief race car driver, as this one came under question here just after the conclusion. But, Todd, it looks like we can officially call Blake McCandless tonight's big winner. He's in victory lane. Take it away.
I'm down here in victory lane with Blake McCandless, who drove that thing like a boss here tonight. On that last restart, you were able to go through the whole field on them fresh tires and carve them up. Blake, tell us about it.
Well, first off, before say anything else, I do want to apologize to Brian Mercurio there. I know he's mad, and he has every right to be. We've raced for 2 years really hard and really clean. And just come down there at the end, I was rolling through the center. I believe it was the 41 that was in front of him, checked up a little bit, and I just kept where I was on the bottom and, got into him and around he went. And other than that, just left it up to the admins. Felt like I had probably the best long run speed out here tonight. And, I just wanted to take that chance at the end. And I knew if I could get on pit road and get off, I was going to be okay. I blew my blue third gear, not that last restart, but the one before it, and thought I had a good chance there. Sorry to Brian, but yeah, really happy we were able to come home with the win on FETV here at FTF. It's always hard to get one of these things. We had a really bad qualifying effort coming out. It started, I think, 10th, and just couldn't get it figured out in qualifying. But otherwise, just slowly picked our way through the field. And, right after I talked to you guys, strategy worked out perfect. I had a couple laps in the tank where I could gamble on strategy and just decided I had a big enough gap behind me to Brandon Lawson, who was on the same strategy, that I could stay out and take a gamble while everybody was trapped a lap down, and it ended up working.
Yeah, it definitely did work, and sometimes better be lucky than good. You had really good long run speed here tonight, really good short run speed out there, and you put those 4 fresh tires there to carve up this field. And as Todd said, driving that thing like a boss. And I'm sorry, Todd, I think I don't know if I jumped on you there or lost you, but Blake, great job tonight, bud. Todd, you got anything else for him? I'm sorry, I jumped on you there. I'm doing things here, 5 things at a time, and this is your interview.
Well, you like to take things over, and that's perfectly fine. But Blake, like I said, a fantastic win here tonight, and I know Phil wants to put his 2 cents in, especially since you won here this evening. But again, I'm going to give you the microphone. The floor is all yours. Then I'll let Phil have at you if he wants. He probably has a question or two, but I'm going to let you thank whoever you'd like to thank here this evening.
Well, first off, I'd like to thank the admins who, put this thing on every week, made a really good track and a great setup for tonight. You guys, obviously, for putting this broadcast on. Everybody out there in the chat box, I know it's going to get interesting. I know Facebook will be even better. Michigan Sports and Entertainment for bringing me on as a writer this past week, which is pretty cool. Speed Shift TV, Virtual Motorsports Network, and everybody that puts this series together. It's really fun to come out here and run every week. And, just be able to come out here, have fun, and try to dig and try to win races. So we're glad we ended up on top tonight, and hope we can come out next week and maybe do the same.
Now Phil is completely speechless, but again, winner tonight, driver of the 166, Blake McCandless. And Phil, I'm going to throw it back up to you this time, and you can close out the show just like you normally do. I'm not going to step on your toes.
Well, don't I feel stupid? I apologize, Todd. I've been doing this a long time. You would think by now I have this whole deal figured out, and I do a couple things off air, getting post-race stuff already, and communicating with different guys, and getting guys like Justin with the points, and communicating with different guys from our home league and whatever. So yeah, I apologize for that, but we're gonna bring Justin Malello in the conversation there. Justin, save me. I completely just slaughtered my partner here, but you have a points update here for our first race of the round of 12. So obviously you got to think Taylor and Corey got to be 1-2. Brian had a strong night. Got to think he's third, but tell us how the rest of this field kind of sorts up after this one.
Well, I mean, it was a crazy ending to what seemed to be a really clean race for 3/4 of the way, and then I kind of ruined everything. So points are pretty. That's pretty accurate. You just forgot about Kevin. Blake playing the spoiler tonight, taking that win. We had to make the results unofficial at first because Blake was involved in the incident at lap number 195 that wasn't claimed, but the administration staff determined that to be a racing deal. So Blake is the rightful winner tonight, and he steals all the playoff points from everybody else that could have used them. But what we got is nobody locked in yet to the round of 8. Taylor Morgan's, though, in the best position. He is currently 61 points ahead of 9th place. Second place, you have Kevin McAdams. He is currently 46 points ahead of 9th place. Then you got Corey Carpenter in 3rd. And I'm doing math on the fly here, so bear with me. It looks like Corey is 27 points ahead of 9th place, and then Brian is 4th. He is 20 points ahead. 5th place is Brandon Lawson. He is 17 points ahead. Then you got Cosman in 6th, who lost out on a couple points there at the very end of the race, getting spun the way he did. But Cosman is 6th, and he's got an 11-point gap to 9th. Tyler Head, he ran into misfortune along with Kyle Riley. They're 7th and 8th. Tyler Head is 9 points ahead, and Kyle Riley is 8 points ahead. And those are currently the top 8 heading into Talladega. Then you got the bottom 4. You start with myself, Justin Malillo in 9th. I'm 8 points out. Then you got Jordan Buster in 10th. He is 10 points out. Ryan Naraki in 11th. He is 13 points out. And then Chris Wetz, tough night for Wetz, especially there at the end. He's currently P12. He is 20 points out. So that's what we got going into Talladega next weekend, which is a complete crapshoot. I mean, you could have Wetz or Naraki, Buster, or even myself get ourselves out of the bottom 4 next week and lock in. Anything can happen there, so I'm really looking forward to it.
No, I am too, and I think it's going to be fun. You say that it's the great equalizer. We go to Talladega. Anytime we go to a restrictor plate track, and if memory serves, last time I believe we were at a restrictor plate track, I believe it was Ryan Naraki who may have picked up a checkered flag. So, as you said, that bottom 4 right now, it may feel grim for guys like Ryan or like Wetz who had a terrible night, but I think we've seen Ryan go to victory lane there, and we've seen Chris Wetz in previous years pull off a dramatic win in one of those winning it in scenarios. So I don't think anybody sitting 9 through 12 right now has to feel too much pressure.
Yeah, Wetz definitely has that clutch gene in him. We saw it in Phoenix last year, just before Homestead, to get himself into the Final Four. So I'm not counting Wetz out in any stretch of the imagination. And I know between Naraki, Buster, and myself, the amount of super speedway wins that we have. I mean, even Riley too. Riley's an amazing super speedway driver as well. So I mean, you look through the field, you could pretty much look at anybody in the top 12 and say they're a great super speedway driver, because it's absolutely true. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how next week plays out.
Yeah, talk about something that could turn the week upside down. Next week we head to Talladega, Justin. It's going to be a great one, bud. Great job tonight by all you guys. Awesome race for all of you all. And we've got to thank you once again, a couple of you guys coming in during Green Flag Racing. That was a really cool feature for us. So what do you say? We do this again next week. Great job as always.
Yeah, definitely. And with, you know, the whole in-car interview during Green Flag, it's definitely something that I haven't done before. And we talked about it before the race, and I'm really happy with how it played out. So definitely see if we can gain some interest with the rest of the drivers, and maybe we can do that a little bit more. I don't know if Talladega is the best place for it, but we'll see how it works out. And thanks again for all you guys do.
We certainly try our best. That's our buddy Justin Malalo, the owner of FTF Racing. Brings him a really solid night, you know, for these guys at FTF. Maybe not the most solid of nights for him there, Todd, but we talked about it. That wild crapshoot getting to Talladega next week. Guys who, you know, like Justin, like Chris Wetz, Ryan Naraki, all those guys that maybe right now outside that 8th place cutoff line, anything could change at Talladega next week. Not only with a win, but you know that big one always lurks on every corner, and that can completely change the complexion of what somebody's hopes for a championship may be for a 2018 FTF Horizon Cup Series.
Yeah, definitely. Everything lurking around every corner can be something at Talladega. I'm telling you, a blink of the eye, things can change, Phil. And then all of a sudden, big wreck in front of you, and that could dash your championships hopes here on Full Velocity TV. Hopefully, we won't see that. We see 3 and 4 wide racing at Talladega here on Full Velocity TV, Phil. So we'll just have to wait and see what FTF has in store for us at Talladega.
All right, so until next time for us here at Full Velocity TV, for our graphics guy, Martin Karch, for my buddy Todd here at the controls, doing an awesome job. Phil LeCast here, going to sign off. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to TaylorMade Golf 200 here tonight at Dover. Next up for us in a couple of nights off, which is definitely a change of the norm here for us recently. Wednesday night, back over to our friends at Dirt Warrior Racing. A little bit of Wednesday night street fights coming up Wednesday night, 9 p.m. If you guys have not checked out what we got on DWR, you have to do just that back in the iRacing midweek. So a couple days off, we'll be a little bit quiet, but you guys know you can go back and find all our archives. Facebook Live, YouTube, and also now on Twitch TV. So for everybody that makes up Full Velocity TV, for all the great guys at FTF and all your great leagues, Phil LeCast signing off. We will see you next time.